Hello everybody and welcome inside Ray Fisher Stadium on Mother's Day for the final home game of the season for the Michigan Wolverines on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan Baseball. I'm Austin Falco, alongside me Nick Hornberg, bringing you the third game of a three-game series between the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Michigan Wolverines. And not only is it Mother's Day today, it is also Senior Day at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yes, it is, Austin. I suppose first and foremost, I too should join in the festivity and say Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there listening to this game and those not, including my own. But yes, today's Senior Day, last game of the season here at Ray Fisher Stadium, and the last game of 5 seniors who were introduced before the game, the end of their college career here at Ray Fisher Stadium. So obviously a special day indeed, and it's going to fall to Carl Kaufman and this lineup to send these seniors out with a win.
It will be Carl Kaufman, the starting pitcher for the Wolverines today, firing to Zach Taylor, the leadoff hitter and center fielder for Illinois. Taylor skies the first pitch in the left center field. Jordan Wogu cuts off the center fielder Engelman and makes the grab. So 1 pitch, 1 out here to start the ball game at Ray Fisher Stadium. First pitch, 12:02 Eastern Time. Batting second for the Illini today will be the shortstop Ben Troike, and on deck, rounding out at least the first 3 hitters of the order that'll come to the plate this inning, Brent Spillane, the first baseman. Right now, it's Carl Kaufman, the sophomore righty from Michigan, firing a strike to Troike to begin this second at-bat of the ballgame. Kaufman comes into this one. This is his 12th start of the season. He's 6-2 with a 2.80 ERA. 0-1 pitch to Troike, swung on tap right back to Kaufman on the mound. He makes the play on a short hop, fires over to first for out number 2. Nice quick start here for Kaufman in the top of the first.
And that's very important, of course, juxtaposed with what we saw yesterday. The Wolverines starter, true freshman Ben Dragani, yesterday, of course, didn't record a 1-2-3 inning until the 5th inning, I believe. And really all games struggled with keeping his pitch count down. Didn't throw a first pitch strike, I believe, until the 2nd inning, and ultimately had to be taken out through 5 innings.
The first pitch from Kaufman to the third hitter of the ballgame, the dangerous Brent Spillane, is a called strike number 1. Winding up and working quickly is Kaufman. The 0-1 pitch is the first ball he's thrown today. It misses low and in. It's 1-1.
We've talked a lot about Brent Spillane all weekend. Of course, the draft pick by the Pittsburgh Pirates 3 years ago has 20 home runs on the season, possible Big Ten, even possible National Player of the Year.
The 1-1 pitch catches the outside corner with the fastball, and Kaufman's ahead of the dangerous Spillane 1-2. Tugs on the jersey, does Kaufman, gets the sign, winds up the 1-2 pitch. Check swing, no swing. Says the first base umpire. Pitch looked pretty good and could have been a called strike 3, I think, no matter what, as the Wolverines were jogging off the field.
I think they wanted that call. Of course, home plate umpire yesterday, Mike Morris, wasn't particularly generous on that inside corner. It doesn't look like today is going to be much more generous.
The 2-2 pitch foul right back to the screen by Brent Spillane. A little more controlled swing than what we've seen this weekend, to be honest with you.
Yes, Brent Spillane, actually, Ben Dragani actually managed to get him to strike out swinging in the first inning yesterday. Very powerful and at times ill-advised swings he managed to ring out of Brent Spillane.
The 2-2 pitch moved down and in on Spillane. He took it for ball 3, so the count's full. Putting together a good at-bat is the first baseman for Illinois, but he swings and misses that strike 3 from Kaufman on that one. So Kaufman working quickly, gets a 1-2-3 inning to start things here in the top of the first. So after a half inning of play, the score, Illinois 0, Michigan will be coming up in just a moment on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
And that first 1-2-3 inning, of course, is always important. You want to set the tone for the game. Yesterday, Ben Dragani threw 26 pitches in that first inning. And, of course, it's very important. The Illini lineup is very, shall we say, top-heavy. There are 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Ben Troike, Brent Spillane, and Michael Massey, all hitting over 300. And really beyond, and they're the only hitters in this lineup to hit 300. Of course, Dragani managed to handle the top of that lineup relatively well. However, his weakness was the bottom of the lineup. He was eviscerated by the 7, 8, and 9 slots in the Illini lineup, particularly Grant Van Scoy had 5 RBIs yesterday. And it's something that Carl Kaufman's going to have to watch out for, but so far has established himself in this game well.
Well, he will try to be backed up by a bit of offense today. The Wolverines try to do that with the same lineup as yesterday, with 1 substitution at third base. Leading off and playing second is Akeo Thomas. The designated hitter Dominic Clementi bats second. Playing center field and batting third is Jonathan Engelman. In the cleanup spot, the first baseman Jesse Franklin. Jordan Wogu, the left fielder, bats fifth. Right fielder Christian Bullock bats sixth. At third base is Jimmy Kerr, getting the start today for the first time this weekend. He bats seventh. Batting eighth behind the plate is Harrison Salter. And rounding out the lineup, the shortstop number 9 hitter Jack Blomgren. They'll go up against the right-handed sophomore for Illinois, Ty Weber. Weber making his 13th start of the year. He is 4-3 with a 3.58 ERA on the season after a very good freshman campaign. He has come back here for Illinois and followed up to be their Sunday starter.
The Illini, of course, the first 2 games in the series were decisive Illini victories, 10-3 on Friday and 10-4 on Saturday. And both of them were buoyed by effective starting pitching. Of course, Quinn Snarskis had a very strong outing on Friday, and Andy Fisher additionally had a strong outing yesterday. 7 innings, gave up only 2 runs in, I believe it was only 85 pitches. And that's something that the Illini are going to want to continue with Ty Weber here on the mound. And Weber actually with an ERA of 3.58 is actually nearly 1 run better than Andy Fisher going into yesterday.
Andy Fisher and the starting pitcher for Illinois on Friday, Quinn Snarskis. Both heavy contact pitchers. Don't expect to see much different from Ty Weber. Leading off for Michigan will be Akeo Thomas. He takes the first pitch from Weber for a strike, 0-1.
Well, Akeo Thomas, the junior, really hasn't had the season that everyone, I'd assume including himself, expected from him. Today, hitting 279 in the leadoff spot. He is getting on base 38% of the time, though, and is 15 for 17 for stolen bases. But watching him, you could kind of feel that those numbers could be so much better if he could improve his contact a little bit at the plate.
A check swing there resulted in strike number 2 to Akeo Thomas, and the 0-2 pitch misses well high. Brings the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Wolverine leadoff hitter. Thomas, a rough day in yesterday's ball game, 0 for 4. Did drive in a run with a ground ball, but could not really get anything going. And he won't get anything going here as he grounds right to the first baseman, Brent Spillane. Spillane makes the play, steps on first himself to record out number 1. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Dominic Clementi. Clementi, the sophomore left-handed hitter. He throws righty. Coming into this one with a 374 batting average. One of few Wolverines to put together quality at-bats all weekend long, it seems like. He chops one back up the middle, trying to make a play on the run. Is the shortstop Troike, but he can't get there in time as it scoots its way into center field for the base hits.
They've already started better than they started yesterday. Andy Fisher yesterday, the lefty managed to take a perfect game into the 5th inning before a hit batter ended that, and then proceeded to continue to take a no-hitter into the 6th before that was broken up, I believe, by Clementi himself. I could be wrong about that. But so far, good start by the Wolverines so far. They've actually gotten somebody on base, which is not something that we've been able to say, really, this weekend a whole lot.
Jonathan Engelman would be the one that looks to keep it going. Center fielder from Michigan steps in there. Righty against righty now. Lines one over the head of a leaping Spillane at first base and down the right field line. Clementi's going to try to go first to third. He'll make it there easily. Throw back, tries to get Engelman at first base as he took an aggressive turn, but couldn't catch him napping. So back-to-back singles have the Wolverines in business here in the bottom of the first. Runners on the corners.
And that was a little bit difficult right there. I was actually pleasantly surprised that Clementi was able to stretch it over to third base. Of course, he didn't start running. That's a hard decision to make because it was a line that wasn't particularly high. It wouldn't have been surprising had Brent Spillane been able to jump up and catch that. It was a little bit too high for him. So Clemente got a little bit of a late start, but good for him to stretch it over to third. And actually, I thought a good decision in right field there by Jack Yellowis to throw to first. It did look like Jonathan Engelman had fallen asleep a little bit, but good quick decision-making by Engelman to get back to first.
It'll be Jesse Franklin now, the lefty freshman, stepping in and chopping one up the middle. This could be a double play ball. Massey goes to second for one. Relay throw to first in time.
Oh, that was very close. And that honestly, that would have scored a run. Dominic Clemente did go for home and cross the plate. However, that was an extremely close throw there to first base. Jesse Franklin couldn't quite beat it out, and unfortunately, that's a little bit of a missed opportunity right there for the Wolverines.
Interestingly, Akeo Thomas, 4 pitches in his at-bat to lead off the ball game. The rest of the Wolverines there, next 3 hitters saw 3 pitches combined, all first pitch swinging. So a quick inning there for Ty Weber. He answers Kyle Kaufman by not giving up a run despite 2 hits for the Wolverines. After an inning of play, the score is 0-0 between the Illini and the Wolverines here on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. Kaufman will start against the 4-hitter for the Illinois order. We'll read off the rest of the Illinois order for you. We didn't get that at the top of the broadcast. That'll be Michael Massey, the second baseman, batting 4th and leading off this inning. Following him will be Michael Mahalik, the designated hitter in the 5-hole. Doran Turchin is the left fielder. He bats 6th. Batting 7th is the right fielder Jack Yellowitz. Third baseman Grant Van Scoy, the man of the hour yesterday, bats 8th. And the catcher David Cran rounds out the lineup in the 9-hole. A lot of experience in the Illinois order. They start nothing but juniors and sophomores. 7 juniors, 2 sophomores. Meanwhile, the Wolverines themselves starting 3 freshmen, a redshirt freshman, a couple sophomores, and 3 juniors. On senior day here at Ray Fisher Stadium, no seniors in either starting lineup. We commented on that pregame.
Yes, of course. The Wolverines' regular starting catcher, Brock Keener, would be starting today. However, he was scratched yesterday, and it appears to continue to today with a little bit of an injury.
First pitch to Michael Massey, leading things off here in the top of the second inning. Misses outside for a ball, 1-0. Massey, the sophomore left-hander, batting .328 on the season. Ropes one back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit, bouncing in front of Jonathan Engelman. He fields and throws in. But Michael Massey leads things off here in the second with a leadoff single.
Yeah, good, well-hit ball there by Michael Massey. Right into deep center field, a place where Engelman appeared to be lined up a little bit too deep to go get it, and it was hit on a rope, so very, of course, very difficult to chase down there.
So with Massey on first, that'll be Michael Mahalik coming up to the plate. The righty DH takes the first pitch from the right-handed throwing Kaufman on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Mahalik, designated hitter for Illinois, has been awfully quiet this series compared to the rest of the Illinois order. Coming off a hitless game yesterday. 0-1 pitch to him, bounces in the dirt, and evens the count up at 1-1. Over there on first base, Massey, not a huge threat to steal. He's only attempted 2 stolen bases this season. He has converted both of them, though. Open stance for Mahalik in the box. Runner's going on the pitch. It's grounded to second, but because the runner was moving, Akeo Thomas has to field and throw over to first. He gets Mahalik over there, but it works essentially as a sacrifice. And there's a runner on second. 1 gone in the inning.
Yes, that was a 1-strike count. Of course, we saw 3 times yesterday the Illini have runners go and the hitter swing in 2-strike counts. This one was only a 1-strike count, so a little bit more likely may have been the hit and run may have been put on by Illinois coach Dan Hartlieb.
It'll bring up Doran Turchin, the left fielder for Illinois, powerful left fielder. Takes a big hack and skies one towards shallow right field. Ranging out is Franklin, the first baseman. He's called off by the second baseman, Akeo Thomas, in shallow right. He makes the grab as Massey retreats to second. So now 2 gone in the inning after the pop-out. And the right fielder, Jack Yalowitz, stepping up to the plate. Yalowitz batting from the left side, one of just 2 lefties in the lineup, along with the man on second, Michael Massey. Illinois not too worried about the platoon advantage against Kaufman, especially with the lineup that they have, where top to bottom, you got guys that can produce, as we've seen in the first couple games of this series. Friday was more the top half of the order. Yesterday, the bottom half. The first pitch to Yalowitz is tapped foul near the Illinois dugout.
Yes, platoon advantage, I think, sometimes can be a little bit overblown, especially when when deciding a full lineup. Of course, maybe 1 or 2 guys you're not really confident in their ability to hold up for a full season. You put them, you platoon them against depending on right-handed and left-handed starters. But really, as a whole, your whole lineup, regardless of who the starting pitcher is, generally remains relatively the same.
0-1 pitch line towards deep right field. On the run is Bullock. He makes the grab, leaping near the track for out number 3. Hard hit ball by Yalowitz, but it finds the glove of Bullock to end the inning. Illinois gets a leadoff single, but strands the man at second. And after an inning and a half here at Ray Fisher Stadium, we remain scoreless between the Illinois Fighting Illini and the Michigan Wolverines here on WCBN's coverage of Michigan baseball.
Well, Christian Bullock, very mobile in right field, is able to cover a lot of space, as we saw yesterday in back-to-back at-bats. He made 1 catch over on the other side of the barrier wall in foul territory in right field. Actually, it's quite an excellent catch. And on the next pitch, even, the hitter swung at the first pitch. He had to range over to center field to make a play. And there, a hard-hit ball. Good for him to run down that ball and get the 3rd out of the inning.
And Chris Bullock will have a chance to bat in the upcoming inning as he's due up second after Jordan Wogu. Following those 2 will be Jimmy Kerr. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the Michigan order. They stranded a runner back in the first inning after an inning-ending double play ball. And for Ty Weber, a very quick and efficient top of the first, just 7 pitches. After Akeo Thomas saw 4 in his at-bat, Clemente, Engelman, and Franklin all were first pitch swinging. Really been the MO of this entire series for the Illinois pitching staff. Throw strikes early on, get the Michigan hitters to swing early and hit the ball on the ground.
Yeah, it's particularly a very efficient start yesterday from Andy Fisher, then the sophomore from Bowling Green, Ohio. Was able to throw, as I said, 7 innings on only 85 pitches. Really an excellent outing. Only ruined a little bit by 2 runs given up in the 6th. No, excuse me, 1 in the 6th, then 1 in the 7th. But really, that doesn't really do justice to how frustrated the Wolverine hitters were with him all game.
Jordan Wogu leads things off here in the bottom of the second for Michigan. Takes the first pitch from Ty Weber for a strike, 0-1. Weber, the sophomore out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin. Winds up, the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed by Wogu, the count's 0-2. Good pitch with some downward movement there from Weber. Got Wogu to chase. And now the freshman in a hole here. We saw him battle back a couple times yesterday. See if he can do it again on 0-2. He gets plunked on the shoulder, actually. Turned that front shoulder, got hit right above the 4. It is number 42. And he trots down to first. Leadoff runner on here for Michigan in the second, just as Illinois did in their half.
And this is where, as we've talked about various times this season, this is the position the Wolverines want to be in early in the game. Get some of their strong base runners, Jordan Wogu, of course, being one of them, 10 for 13 stolen bases on the season. they like to get a lot of generous leadoffs, secondary leadoffs, and if not jump, pretend to jump, and really make these pitchers think and try to hang pitches.
First pitch to Chris Bullock is a check swing that he sends foul out of play to the left side. And the count's 0-1. Wogu over there on first, a threat to go. He is 10 for 13 this season when he attempts to steal. Taking a decent lead against Weber, and incites a pickoff throw. Slides back in safely. Bullock yesterday, a rough day at the plate. Was not seeing the ball well at all from Andy Fisher. Not a pickoff throw, and Wogu dives back in safely.
And this is the best case scenario here for the Wolverines. Of course, you want lots of pickoff throws. You want the pitcher to think more and more about the runner at first, can drag out these at-bats and see if the pitcher can get a little tired.
Wogu's not going here on the 0-1, and it misses just low, maybe a bit outside, according to our home plate umpire, Daniel Jimenez. And the count is 1-1. Wogu again taking a sizable lead over at first. Watching Weber carefully, leaning a bit here. Does not go, though he fakes going. And the 1-1 pitch catches the outside corner against Bullock. It's 1-2 now.
Well, Christian Bullock really has had a little bit of a rough last couple series. He was very strong, I believe it was 3 weeks ago, series against Penn State. But now he seems to have lost the plot a little bit, and really this series now he's lost his place in the two hole in the lineup to designated hitter Dominic Clementi, and now he's dropped down to 6th, and now hopefully he can recover for the rest of the series. He's a very important player to this team.
1-2 pitch misses off the plate away, trying to get Bullock to chase on that pitch. He did not, and the count is 2-2. Wogu faking to steal with just about every single pitch over there. Perhaps trying to really time up Ty Weber. Weber comes set, glove right about his back shoulder, and throws another pickoff throw, trying to get Wogu leaning.
It's funny, Wogu at this point now he's not taking particularly large leadups, and he is leaning back to first base. It's almost like he's expecting that pickoff throw.
Takes an extra step now as Weber's ready for the 2-2. It's on its way, and Bullock lines this foul, but out of play. Count will remain 2-2 as Bullock stays alive there. You can see Weber really trying to work the outside plate against Bullock. That's been his weakness so far this season. He tries to pull that outside pitch a lot. Ends up either swinging through it or rolling over one. He does not want to roll over one here with nobody out and runner on first. 2-2 pitch. He does roll one over right to second base. Massey Fields goes to second for one. The relay throw to first, though, not in time as the speedy Bullock beats the relay.
Yes, and obviously that's a little bit of an unfortunate result, fielder's choice, but good job by Bullock to beat out that throw, and really the Wolverines are in a relatively similar position. We said Wogu 10 for 13. Christian Bullock is 17 for 21 in stolen bases. Eric Bakich can use Bullock similarly the way he used Wogu, try to get into Ty Weber's mind and try to get him to pitch, perhaps issue a walk to Jimmy Kerr or hang a pitch low or hang a pitch high that Kerr can drive into the outfield.
Jimmy Kerr getting his first start of the series. We saw him sub in yesterday for Blake Nelson at third. Christian Bullock, big secondary lead, but does not go on the first pitch to Kerr, which misses low and away. 1-0. Kerr, the numbers don't look too stellar coming into this one. 167 the batting average, but sizable difference and upgrade there to his on-base percentage of 277 as Bullock was running on the pitch, but Kerr fouled it off to the left side and out of play. Evens count up at 1-1.
Yes, well, Jimmy Kerr hasn't really had a whole lot of game time relative to the rest of these players in what is now the 47th game of the season. excuse me, what is the 48th? He's only made 25 appearances. 14 of them have been starts, and he said he's only hitting 167. Has kind of fallen behind Blake Nelson there on the depth chart at third base. But you are correct. He does have 8 walks against 9 hits. Interestingly enough, he has scored 9 runs.
Started the season as the starting third baseman for Michigan, did Jimmy Kerr. Before Blake Nelson went on a tear and essentially won that job. 1-1 pitch with Bullock running, swung on and missed by Kerr, but dropped at the plate by Cran, so Bullock slides in safely with a stolen base.
And there's the first stolen base of the game for the Wolverines, and that's, I don't know, I wasn't there on Friday. Potentially, is it the first stolen base of the season for the Wolverines? Or, excuse me, of the series?
I believe they picked one up on Friday, late in the game, after it was pretty much out of reach.
All right, either way, that's important. The Wolverines like to, as we've said, they like to be aggressive on the base paths, and that's generally quite conducive to them winning, is getting runners in scoring position.
Jimmy Kerr's in a hole 1-2 now, and the 1-2 pitch misses low and in. It's dropped by Cran, though. Going to third is Bullock, and he slides in safely just ahead of the tag.
And now, even better, you have a runner on third. Granted, they're in a little bit of a tough position with 1 out, 2 strikes, and arguably they're the weakest. Well, I don't know about arguably the weakest hitter in the lineup up at bat. So perhaps their options in this situation are a little bit limited. But if Kerr can even get a ground ball deep in the hole at shortstop to shortstop or second base, then the Wolverines will be able to take a lead in this ballgame.
Jimmy Kerr has shown last year and this he does have some pop in that bat. He was very reliable off the bench last season for head coach Eric Bakich. Just started slow this year and hasn't been able to work his way back into the lineup. 2-2 pitch to him, grounded hard right to third base. Van Scoy Fields goes home with it, and it's in time to get Bullock. Perfect throw there from Van Scoy as Cran fielded and pretty much sat on the plate, so Bullock couldn't get there. So another fielder's choice here, and the Wolverines erase that runner on third, replace him with Kerr over there at first.
Well, a little bit of an unfortunate result there. Of course, Bullock had the signal to just go at the moment the ball was hit, regardless of location, and Kerr, of course, grounded it right to third baseman Grant Van Scoy. Hit hard. A little bit unfortunate there. Bullock ran right into the out due to just some unfortunate luck.
Harrison Salter will now step up to the plate, the catcher for the Wolverines, and bounce one to short on his first at-bat of the game. And you go to second with it, does Troike, but Massey drops the throw at second, so all the runners are safe. Michigan catches a break there in Illinois' first error of the series.
That's a little, it's an interesting decision right there by Illinois shortstop Ben Troike to throw it over to second base. Kerr, of course, is an infielder, corner infielder more specifically. But Harrison Salter, playing catcher, catchers, of course, rarely renowned for their speed. Salter himself has yet to attempt to steal a base, but interesting decision to take second instead of first, especially since Kerr had a fairly sizable leadoff.
So now runners at first and second, 2 gone in the inning. Jack Blomgren, the 9-hitter and shortstop for Michigan, at the plate. Watches the first pitch from Weber cross the plate for strike 1. Blomgren batting just 199, but has a good eye up there. Has 24 walks in the season, has his on-base percentage all the way up at 341, despite batting below 200. 0-1 pitch to him, bounces in the dirt. Cran blocks this one, though, and keeps the runners at first and second, respectively. And so far in this inning, 4 Wolverines have come to the plate. All 4 have reached base, none of them via a hit. Hit by pitch, fielder's choice, another fielder's choice, compounded with an error. The error did go to the second baseman, as Jack Blomgren now also reaches base via a non-hit. He is hit by the pitch, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, it's got a sting right there in the elbow, but that's what that pad is for. And now Akeo Thomas comes up with the bases loaded, 2 outs, and an opportunity to, especially if he manages to hit the ball into the outfield, really open this game up, score 1, possibly 2 runs.
I think the key here for Okeo Thomas is hitting a line drive somewhere. All season long, it's been either on the ground or pop flies. With a defense as solid as Illinois, you're not going to be able to produce doing that. First pitch to Thomas is a breaking ball that doesn't break. It stays too high, and the count's 1-0. Thomas grounded out to start the Michigan half of the first to the first baseman Spillane. Getting his second looks at Weber here in the second inning. 1-0 pitch hit high in the air to the right side. That one's going to tail out of play into the Illinois bullpen. Evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike in what is an early big moment for the Wolverines, trying to get their first lead since the first inning of Friday's game. It was in the top of the second Friday's game that Illinois responded and took a lead of their own. They have not looked back all weekend since then. Winning 10-3 on Friday, 10-4 in yesterday's ballgame. The Illinois offense has been a buzzsaw against Michigan pitching, and the Michigan lineup hasn't been able to figure out the Illinois pitching staff until it's already too late in the ballgame.
Yeah, we've talked about this. This series really has substantial connotations for potential berths in the NCAA tournament. As you said, the Wolverines seem to have a little bit of a slight edge on the Illini coming into this series, but now, but the Wolverines had to win to bolster their NCAA tournament credentials. Now they've clinched the loss this series. They've won the first 2 games, and really to even hope for an at-large berth without having to rely on the Big Ten tournament, this game is paramount.
He's swinging and a miss at a low pitch there by Okeo Thomas. Sets him down in the count 1-2 now. As you mentioned, especially Illinois looking this dominant on the road, should definitely give them the edge over the Wolverines. One of the Wolverines' biggest assets coming into the series, but they were still tied for first in the Big Ten, had a chance to win it. They are now a game behind Minnesota after yesterday's ball games. And the 1-2 pitch from Thomas is popped up behind the plate, giving chase is Cran back near the screen, but he'll run out of room as that one gets into the stands. And Thomas stays alive at 1-2. Minnesota, after a Friday setback against Michigan State, rebounded and won yesterday against the Spartans, as did previously third place Purdue, who has officially tied the Wolverines with a 14-5 Big Ten record. Both a game back of Minnesota now into going into a big series between the 2 second-place teams next week.
Yes, that's at Purdue, of course. I think really to have a shot at the NCAA tournament, really I'd say one team has to sweep.
1-2 pitch now to Okeo Thomas with the bases loaded. Barely gets a piece of that one and puts it back to the screen.
And the Wolverines relatively have had a fairly strong season so far. Of course, they started off 4-11 with a heartbreaking and extremely frustrating loss to NAIA level Lawrence Tech. But since then, they've been 27-5, including a 20-game win streak.
Two of those 5 losses coming over the last couple of days as well, so it looked even better coming into this weekend. Made sense why they were right in the middle of the bubble talk for NCAA tournament hopes. Thomas calls time at the plate, and the 1-2 pitch on its way again. Grounded up the middle, it'd be fielded easily by Massey. He flips to his counterpart, Troike at short, who makes the play, but we have time called. I believe catcher's interference. There was catcher's interference on the play, and Michigan scores a run. Another batter reaching without a hit, and Michigan has scored a run here in the bottom of the second to take a 1-0 lead.
That's pretty amazing when you think about it, and absolutely ridiculous error if you're an Illini fan or if you're in the Illini dugout. An extremely frustrating error there from David Cran, the junior catcher. Really, that especially at this level, that's not really a mistake that you should make there.
So that'll be the second error if you're keeping score at home. Catcher interference goes down as an error against the catcher. Okeo Thomas does not get credit for the RBI there, but Michigan gets a run anyway. Dominic Clementi steps up to the plate and watches a first pitch strike right about the belt on the outside corner. Counts 0-1. My mistake. Actually, Thomas does get the RBI, but the run is unearned. Catch interference, one of those weird rulings in baseball as Clemente grounds one into right field for a base hit. One run's going to score. Coming around second, or third rather, is Blomgren. He slides in safely ahead of the throw, and Michigan leads 3-0 now here in the bottom of the second inning.
And that's the strength of the Wolverines right there, really is the base running. Of course, Blomgren there. The throw wasn't, the throw from right fielder Jack Yalowitz to David Cran wasn't quite on target, but even if it was, Blomgren would have scored. He was really running around third base. Wolverines really, as we've said, aggressive on the base paths. Good job there by Salter to get across the plate, and even better job by Blomgren to score from second base on what was really a not particularly hard hit single to right field.
That's Clemente's second hit of the ball game. He's 2 for 2 now. Michigan again leads 3-0 here in the bottom of the second, thanks to some Illinois mishaps. 7 batters have all come to the plate here in the second inning for Michigan. That was the first hit of the inning. Led off the inning with a hit by pitch from Jordan Wogu. Then 3 straight fielder's choices. The third one compounded with an error by second baseman Massey, who only he needed to do was really catch the ball at second, and the inning was over. He dropped it, let the inning continue, and then after a hit by pitch, catcher's interference, and a single there by Clemente, Michigan finds themselves with their largest lead of the series at 3-0.
It's something that the Illini have done to the Wolverines all series. Of course, we've talked about Wolverines committed 4 errors on Friday, 3 on Saturday. Let the Illini hang around with those errors, and the Illini have made them pay here. Now, what seemed like such a mundane error has now allowed them to stay alive in this inning, and then another error not only prevented them from getting out of the inning, allowed the Wolverines to score a run, and then now they've given up 2 more.
Jonathan Engelman with a chance to keep it going for Michigan takes a first pitch strike on the inside corner. Engelman 1 for 1. He singled in the first inning, a line drive into right over the head of the first baseman Spillane. Ty Weber looking to minimize the damage here. Comes set, the 0-1 to Engelman. Breaking ball that Engelman's way in front of and bounces right at the Wolverine dugout. It bounces, luckily, into the screen in front of the players standing down over there. But Engelman down the count now 0-2. That was a healthy hack there from Engelman. Looked like he saw that breaking ball. Got giddy and swung much too early, but hit the ball hard. 0-2 pitch now from Weber. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Weber finally gets out of the inning. But thanks to some Illinois miscues, Michigan pushes across 3 here in the bottom of the second. 2 innings of play. Michigan leads Illinois by a score of 3-0 on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports. Austin Falco alongside Nick Hornberg bringing you this Mother's Day edition of Michigan baseball.
Well, Ty Weber's going to be extremely frustrated here. Giving up 3 runs, none of them earned, and only 1 hit given up in that inning. That's something that's going to be very frustrating for him. Generally not common for pitchers to go and give their defense what for, but I would say that in this situation it might be a little bit warranted.
You can imagine head coach Dan Hartlib for Illinois will probably do that for him, but sometimes you can't help but express that frustration. With the way Illinois played this series, kind of hard to believe that Michigan be able to finally get on the board via the errors. They've been so solid all series long, making great plays, range-wise, and just being very precise, getting back to fundamentals, making the right throws, catching the ball, which we saw ended up playing a role in that last inning. Simple things like that, Illinois seemed to have down pat, not unlike Michigan from last season, who led the nation in fielding percentage.
It's something that something that is extremely important that you see demonstrated. At least I've seen as a Detroit Tigers fan of the last decade or so. Really, one of the most important skills in baseball that your team can possess is the ability to handle a routine ground ball, and that's something that or routine, really just routine plays in the field, ground balls, pop-ups, and fly balls. And that's something the Wolverines, as we've said, have struggled with this game. And we've seen the Wolverines, especially in their 20-game win streak, won a lot of games because of errors by the other teams on simple plays.
The first pitch up the third inning from Kaufman to Grant Van Scoy is a strike on the inside corner. The count's 0-1 now. Van Scoy, the player of the day yesterday, as he bounces this 0-1 pitch over the Wolverine dugout. It's 0-2. Yesterday's ball game for Van Scoy, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, had a big home run and 5 RBIs.
Yeah, I'm not sure what scouting report Grant Van Scoy had on Ben Dragani and Alec Renard, but whatever it was, he knew it, and he actually had quite the fantastic game, and really he was hitting sub 240 going into yesterday's game. Now his average has creeped up around 250, and really impressive game for him.
He fouled an 0-2 pitch back to the screen, and another 0-2 pitch made its way back to the screen and passed Salter at home plate. The count's 1-2. And something I wanted to ask you came up when I was just talking about Grant Van Scoy there. I did say he had 5 RBIs. Do you think that's grammatically correct there, RBIs? Or are you an RBI fan, plural?
I've always used...
As another pitch is fouled off to the left side, now play.
It's an interesting question to answer. Really, I've always used RBIs. However, I can understand why people would use RBI, but I think if you're going to do that, you have to really ensure, aside from the number, that you're using plural. So in my opinion, if you use RBI, you should probably use the full thing, runs batted in.
1-2 pitch, bounces in the dirt, evens it up at 2-2. I've definitely heard the argument that you're already saying runs batted in, so you're already making it plural when you say that. If I say 5 RBI, it's already plural, but if you want to take it that way, when I say 1 RBI, wouldn't that also be plural under that assumption? Just a weird baseball statistic debate. As a 2-2 pitch misses low and away.
Well, if our friends at M. Saber and our noted baseball addict here at WCBN, Max Brill, has anything to say, it's that the RBI stat is overrated, and in 5 years we're not going to be talking about it anymore. So perhaps it's not too relevant.
3-2 pitch misses low and away for ball 4. And Van Scoy leads off the inning with a walk. Brings up the catcher David Cran, but I have to agree with Max on that one. I do agree the RBI stat is pretty overrated. It's entirely dependent on players getting on base before you. It's really not a good measure of a single player's performance. I doubt we will not be talking about it in 5 years, though. As the first pitch to Cran misses low and away, 1-0.
Well, it's the question of, yes, RBI, the stat doesn't necessarily mean anything by itself. I think perhaps more important is runners on base scored relative to runners on base overall. Perhaps express that as a little bit of a percentage, but I don't know if it's irrelevant, if only because especially in Major League, if you have a high RBI count, that means it's pretty hard to argue that you're not doing well at the plate.
1-0 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. One pitch from Kaufman now misses low and away, 2-1. I do agree there. If you're talking about high RBI totals, I think it's easier to make the argument that high RBI totals are indicative of offense, but I don't think you can judge anything from really low RBI totals. A guy like Joey Votto can drive in 75 runs and be seen as not as good, even though the problem is guys don't get on base before him. A 2-1 pitch misses low to Cran. It's 3-1. Tricky balance.
Must say, I might be a little bit biased toward the RBI statistic because Miguel Cabrera won 2 MVPs in 2012 and 2013, largely hinging on extremely high RBI totals.
3-1 pitch to Cran, misses outside for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to start this third inning from Kaufman. And Illinois with a chance to get right back in this ball game, trailing 3-0 and going back to the top of their order for Zach Taylor.
Well, Carl Kaufman started so well early this game. Quick first inning, only gave 1 hit. Second inning also worked it relatively quickly. But now he's in an awkward position. He's led off the inning with 2 walks and really to the bottom of their order, and including David Crane only hitting 167. And now the top of their order that we've talked about is so dangerous coming up. I think most important thing for him would be either a strikeout for his confidence or a double play ball.
No mound visit yet from pitching coach Chris Fetter. As Kaufman steps off and will instead get a mound visit from the catcher Harrison Salter. He salters out to the mound, gives a brief word to Kaufman, and moseys on back to his spot behind the plate.
Carl Kaufman, interestingly enough, from the lovely town of Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. Very lovely town. I know it intimately. It's almost like I live there. And Kaufman, a graduate of Brother Rice High School, the alma mater of our executive director here at WCBN, Mr. Evan Osterly.
Called strike 1 to Zach Taylor there. We have new management in WCBN starting next year, unfortunately. I kid. Evan will help usher in continued growth from WCBN, as we've seen all year long here. Our coverage just about wrapping up for Michigan Athletics for the year. We appreciate listenership all season long, as squaring around a bunt on both the first and second pitches there is Taylor. After the first one he pulled back for a strike, he pulls back for this one that misses low. It's ball 1.
Yes, actually, I believe this may be the last game of the year. Of course, Jeremy Parks and Alex Drain called the quarterfinal, the Big Ten tournament quarterfinal against for Michigan softball against Michigan State on Friday. An unfortunate loss for them, and believe all the other sports have wrapped up.
1-1 pitch bounces in the dirt there to Taylor. Nice stop by Salter behind the plate. Counts 2-1. There is, I suppose, a slim chance that you could see some Michigan baseball coverage either in the Big Ten or NCAA tournament, but we don't currently plan on doing any of that. Big Ten tournament held out in Omaha, Nebraska this year, the place of the College World Series. It's a 2-1 pitch, bunted right back to the mound. Good bunt there by Taylor, forces Kaufman to go to first with it. So a sacrifice bunt moves the runners to second and third with 1 gone in the inning now for Ben Schroike.
Yeah, that's probably a good decision right there by Dan Hartleb to give Zach Taylor the order to bunt. Of course, Zach Taylor, despite being a leadoff hitter and a high OBP of 332, only hitting 230 on the season. And it's really the best, most effective way to use a pitcher, to use a hitter if he's not hitting well, and that is with base runners on to move them over. Productive outs, very important.
Only grounded into 1 double play this season did Taylor, but perhaps trying to avoid the strikeout there was Hartleb. As Schroike fouls the first pitch, he sees from Kaufman. This at bat back to the screen, 0-1. Schroike 0 for 1 on the ball game. He grounded right back to Kaufman back in the first inning. Stands very upright in that right-handed batter's box. Has the bat almost out in front of him. The 0-1 pitch is lined into right center field for a base hit. Bullock's got the play on a bounce. 1 run scores. The second runner, Cran, being held up at third. But an RBI single from Ben Schroike has Illinois on the board. It's 3-1 now.
That's a little unfortunate there. That was a well-hit ball by Ben Schroike. Good curve on the ball, right into right center field. Bullock wasn't going to be able to run over and get it. But, however, good decision by Bullock. Hard throw to first baseman Jesse Franklin to cut off David Cran at third base and keep the Illini from putting on a second run.
And now a dangerous situation here with Brent Spillane coming to the plate, a runner on third, with just 1 gone in the inning.
Well, I suppose this is a little bit redundant given the way we've covered the last 2 games, but let's go again. Brent Spillane, the junior from Wheeling, Illinois.
Takes ball one, low and in from Kaufman, 1-0.
On the season, the junior on a season of 426 average, 20 home runs, 55 RBIs, a slugging percentage of .973, leads the team in walks with 29, has an on-base percentage of .524, and for good measure is 14 for 22 on stolen bases.
Takes the 1-0 pitch for a strike, 1-1. I believe he's 1 for 2 in this series on those stolen bases as well, from what we've seen during this 3-game set. But absolutely tore the cover off the ball a couple times on Friday, going deep to right center and straightaway right field, which is really impressive for a righty. He check swings at 1-1 and makes it 1-2 now.
Yes, of course, something that should improve his draft stock should he decide to enter the draft again this season, or something the Pittsburgh Pirates, who of course drafted him in the 34th round in 2015, should be looking at very, very closely.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed for strike 3. Second strikeout of the day for Brent Spillane, the second strikeout of the day for Kyle Kaufman. He got his number here, and there's 2 gone in the inning, runners at the corners. Michael Massey coming up to the plate.
The second baseman, number 6, Michael Massey.
Yes, Michael Massey really so far this season has provided pretty good protection for Brent Spillane. Of course, he himself hitting .328 on this season, and is really forcing pitchers to pitch to Brent Spillane and not around him.
Massey started off the second inning with a sharp single into center field. Takes a big swing there on the first pitch from Kaufman this time and misses. It's 0-1.
Michael Massey, also a graduate of a high school named Brother Rice, but the Brother Rice in his hometown of Palos Park, Illinois, not to be confused with the Brother Rice High School in Bloomfield Hills, where Carl Kaufman graduated from.
I think there's one in California, too. They're all over the place, it seems like. As the 0-1 pitch bounces and is stopped by Salter behind the plate, 1-1. We're here in the top of the third inning at Ray Fisher Stadium. Michigan leads Illinois by a score of 3-1. Illinois threatening, though. Runners at the corners, 2 away. Wagging that bat in front of him in that left-handed batter's box is Massey, and he watches the 1-1 pitch miss off the plate outside for ball 2. Michigan wearing the pinstripe uniforms today on Senior Day. Pinstriped bottoms, pinstriped tops with a block M up near the players' left shoulders. Blue numbers. Blue block M, maize piping. As it is bounced off to the right side off the bat of Massey. And the count's 2-2.
The Illini wearing their blue uniforms today with a little bit of orange trim and with white numbers and orange piping, with Illinois on the front and a number and their number just below the Illinois script on the left chest.
Yeah, Illinois, like Michigan, has 3 variations of basically the same jersey color. Or not the same jersey color, it's in 3 different colors. Say 2-2 pitch here, runner moving is Troike. He's going to swipe second without a throw from Salter and get himself into scoring position with 2 gone.
Good decision there by Salter not to throw his. Once he caught the ball, saw that Troike was running. His first instinct was to turn and look over to Cran. It was a very smart decision right there. He decides to throw to second. Cran could easily have gone home and very likely would have made it, especially had the throw been off target or misplayed by either Blomgren or Thomas.
The count is full now, though, on Massey after that one missed. And the 3-2 pitch swung on for strike 3. 2 straight strikeouts ends the jam there for Kyle Kaufman, but not before Illinois gets a run on an RBI single from Troike. They've cut the Michigan lead to 2 here in the middle of the third inning. The score, Michigan 3, Illinois 1. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Excellent there. Looked like a fastball with a little bit of movement, like something along the lines of a slider, maybe a cut fastball. Ran away from Mike Massey and ultimately finished out of the zone, but started in, hence Massey swung at it, and excellent strikeout there by Carl Kaufman, and good recovery after walking the first 2 runners and giving up a run.
It'll be up to Ty Weber try to recover from last inning and where he gave up 3 runs. Really not through much fault of his own. He only gave up 1 hit in that inning.
Yes, he did hit 2, however, but the first run scored on a catcher's interference, and the other 2 should have been out. As a result, he has yet to concede an earned run today. However, he is in line for what right now would be a loss.
Well, we could talk about wins and losses stats if you wanted to go that far here. We already talked about the RBIs, but
well, we don't need to. See, the great encapsulation of how important wins and losses are was 2015. Shelby Miller for the Atlanta Braves had an ERA of 3.02 and a record of 6 wins, 17 losses.
Yeah. Helped the Diamondbacks pick him up, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, unfortunately, he hasn't really acquitted himself well in Arizona. Very rough start last year, then had time injuries and sent down to the minors. Started off 2017 strong. Unfortunately, had to go down for Tommy John surgery, and he's still 27. He's still has a career potential ahead of him, but still his recovery is expected to complete itself really later this month, possibly June or July.
Never really a good sign either when after the trade happens, it's considered a trade for a minor leaguer. It's the Dansby-Swanson trade at this point based on Shelby Miller's time in Arizona.
Yes, Dansby-Swanson and Aaron Blair was also sent over to Atlanta.
Jesse Franklin takes the first 2 pitches of the at-bat. 1 a strike, 1 a ball around that outside corner from Weber. Franklin grounded into a double play to end the threat the Wolverines had cooking in the top or the bottom of the first inning. 1-1 pitch this time bounces about 7 feet short of the plate, and it's 2-1 now. Franklin, star freshman for the Wolverines this season. Second half of this year has really turned it on, earned himself that starting role at first base. He swings and misses at the 2-1 offering for strike 2. Was splitting time previously with the likes of Matthew Schmidt. Brock Keener was getting some time at first as well. Hector Gutierrez, I believe, got a couple of starts out there. But Jesse Franklin has won himself the job by essentially outslugging everybody else.
Yes, Jesse Franklin on the season, 326 hitter, leads the team in home runs with 9 and with 45 RBIs.
2-2 pitch missed outside. It's 3-2 now. Weber winds up and fires the payoff pitch. High pitch chased by Franklin and getting a piece of it, fouling it down the left field line. Count remains 3-2. Franklin 1 for 3 in yesterday's ball game with a strikeout. It's been a little bit quieter this series, perhaps a little freshman fatigue near the end of the season. Skies a high fastball off near the right side, making their way over is Spillane and Cran, but they both run out of room at the Illinois dugout as that one gets out of play.
I think some more of it is that the schedule has toughened up a little bit. Obviously, the 20-game win streak, while no doubt an impressive thing, it was very hard to win 20 games in a row in any sport, including even in baseball when you play so many games. However, the competition there wasn't always the strongest. A lot of out-of-conference, Bowling Green, Central Michigan, and a lot of teams in the lower echelon of the Big Ten, Michigan State, Penn State. Schedule really toughened up in recent weeks. Series against Iowa, and now here Illinois. But nonetheless, Jesse Franklin doesn't seem to have adjusted quite as well to these stronger pitchers, but still having a fantastic season, and in my opinion, should be the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
About a 3-2 pitch foul deep down the left field line, but into the Michigan bullpen. So we'll do it again here at 3-2. Weber's ready. Here it comes. Sky near the left side giving chase is Troike and Turchin. Turchin's over near the sidewall. He makes the play just in fair territory for out number 1. Good at bat there by Franklin, but nothing to show for it. I'll bring up Jordan Wogu with nobody on and 1 out.
The left fielder, number 42, Jordan Wogu.
And it was Wogu that got things started in the second inning with a hit by pitch. He was retired shortly after on a fielder's choice, but started that string of 6 Michigan batters to reach base without recording a hit. Weber's ready for the first pitch of this at-bat. He spikes it in the dirt, and the count's 1-0. Really, it's just out of instinct at this point. I keep saying in the dirt. It's always turf here at Ray Fisher Stadium, but it really held the rain quite well this weekend.
It's really the turf is the reason we've been able to play baseball this season. Of course, at really large stretches of this season, we had a lot of bad weather, a lot of precipitation. Of course, you said Friday it rained. Saturday it rained early on in the day, but it was relatively free of precipitation by game time. But it's something that really I think a lot of people may complain about turf and how the ball bounces off it differently, but it's something that has helped the Wolverines play a lot of games that they normally wouldn't be able to this season.
2-1 pitch by Wogu is lined right at the third baseman Van Scoy. It pops in and out of his glove, but it hits so hard he has time to recover and throw to first to record the out. So now 2 gone in the inning. Chris Bullock stepping up to the plate. Bullock 0 for 1 on the day with a fielder's choice. Also has himself a stolen base today. His 18th of the season. That's second on the Wolverines, and he takes the first pitch here from Weber on the outside corner at the knees for strike 1. Winding up in the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed at a good breaking ball down. The count's 0-2. Bullock with the batting gloves hanging out. The back pockets of his pinstriped pants. In that left-handed batter's box, swings late and fouls the 0-2 pitch into the Michigan bullpen. Try it again at 0-2 in just a second. Just about all the Wolverines in long sleeves today. Illinois not so much. The 0-2 pitch bounces in the dirt near the outside corner. So the count's 1-2.
Yes, left side of the infield, Grant Van Scoy and Ben Troike both wearing wearing just the short sleeves. Right side, Massey and Spillane both wearing long sleeves. Catcher David Cran wearing 3/4, and the starter Ty Weber wearing half sleeves.
It's a little chilly here in Ann Arbor, 52 degrees, according to my Weather Channel app. After the 1-2 missed, the 2-2 pitch is bounced on a couple hops to short, making the play as Troike throws to first just in time to get Bullock by a half a step. So a 1-2-3 inning there, good recovery by Weber after a rough second. And 1/3 of the way through this ball game, Michigan leads Illinois by a score of 3-1. You are listening to the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball and WCBN Sports. I'm Austin Falco, Nick Hornberg. We wanted to wish, along with everybody from WCBN, a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, including my own, who is listening. And Nick, I believe you echoed those sentiments at the top of the broadcast.
Yes, I did.
Not quite the weather we were expecting here on Mother's Day. Originally, at the beginning of the weekend, it looked like we were going to be able to get some sun, finally, but instead stuck with cloudy skies for the most part. The lights still have to be turned on here at Ray Fisher Stadium. We really don't really have much of an effect. You may see some sunshine later on in the day, but that sunshine just kept getting pushed back farther and farther the closer we got to game time.
Yes, now they've just completely removed it from the forecast.
Didn't really make a difference, though. I believe all 5 of the honored seniors, 5 honored seniors along with a student manager, all had their mothers out there on the field with them for the pregame Senior Day ceremony. A lot of things happened at Ray Fisher Day with Mother's Day, Senior Day, last home game of the season. Had some food trucks down the right field line for pregame, or actually they have them out there now still. Also the kids zone all the way down the right field line. They got inflatable bounce house and obstacle course. And a good crowd here for the final home game of the season. Not capacity, but I'd say probably about 60% full.
Yeah, as I said yesterday, the support really this season, even with the bad weather, is especially considering the bad weather, has been quite good. And you see a lot of very young fans out here today.
The kids are out in full force. Michael Mahalik leads things off by tapping one foul, 0-1.
And to be more specific, the gentlemen honored today for Senior Day were seniors Alec Renard, Jace Vancina, Brock Keener, and Austin Batka, and redshirt senior Hector Gutierrez, and senior team manager Matt Ross.
Ball was bounced towards Kerr over there at third base. Not a senior, but one of the elder members of the Michigan roster. He made the play running in and threw to first to record the first out of the inning.
The left fielder, number 20, Doran Turchin.
That brings up Doran Turchin, right-handed hitting left fielder for Illinois. Turchin 0 for 1 of the ball game. He popped out to shallow right field in the glove of Akeo Thomas in the second. Squares around on the first pitch, pulls back, and takes a pitch for a strike.
This is a bit of an interesting mechanic there. He laid out to bunt, almost appeared to step forward out of the box as the pitch came in.
It would go down as a strike if he did step into fair territory there. He grounds one towards Blomgren at short. Blomgren makes the play without hesitation and throws over to first. So 2 ground outs here, 4 pitches, and there's 2 gone in the inning.
Doran Turchin also had a strong game yesterday. 5 at-bats, 2 hits, no RBIs, however, he did score twice.
Really that bottom part of the lineup did the work for Illinois. Jack Yalowitz, one of those members of the bottom third of the lineup, steps in here with 2 gone, nobody on. Right fielder for Illinois takes a strike, 0-1. Kaufman started off all 3 batters is hitting the same way. First pitch strike. You got a ground out on the next pitch for the first 2. See if Yalowitz changes the trend. 0-1 pitch. Misses low for a ball, 1-1. Yalowitz, like his predecessors in this inning, 0 for 1 on the day. Hit a hard line drive to Christian Bullock out in right field, who tracked it down near the track. This time Yalowitz is way ahead of the 1-1 pitch and bounced it into the Illinois dugout. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Righty against lefty here. Kaufman looking to record his 4th strikeout of the day, and he does there. Swing and a miss from Yalowitz. Ball was in the dirt, so Salter has to throw down to first. He does for out number 3. Kaufman finding a groove here. Again, his 4th strikeout of the day. That sets down Illinois in order in the 4th. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Michigan leading Illinois still by a score of 3-1.
Yes, Carl Kaufman, excellent job there. As we said, Ben Dragani struggled with this yesterday. Kaufman keeping his pitch count down, now thrown 4 innings, has thrown less than 60 pitches. And something that I've always considered to be the standard in baseball is you know that you're being efficient if you average less than 15 pitches in an inning, which in this case would be had he thrown 60 in 4 innings. I believe his pitch count is hovering around 54, 55. So far, good day for him, and really the Wolverines, the way that Illini hitters have been hitting Michigan pitching this season, it'd be excellent if they could get, really I'd say essential to winning this game is if they get a quality start out of him.
Yeah, you're right on the money there. 55 pitches through 4 innings for Kyle Kaufman. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Ty Weber, already has 56 pitches. He hasn't even started the 4th inning. When he does, though, he will face the bottom third of the Michigan order. Jimmy Kerr, Harrison Salter, and Jack Blomgren to start things. It was this bottom part of the order that kept things going for Michigan in the 2nd inning when they scratched across 3 runs. All 3 coming around to score those 3 runs, actually. Kerr, Salter, and Blomgren. Kerr scored on the catcher's interference when Akeo Thomas was at bat. And Salter and Blomgren both came around to score on Dominic Clementi's 2 RBI single. That was all the scoring for the Wolverines so far in this one, back in the bottom of the 2nd. Illinois answered with one in the top of the third on an RBI single by Ben Troike, their shortstop. Jimmy Kerr now strides in. He reached base back in the second before he came around to score on a fielder's choice, which he hit a sharp ground ball to a third baseman Van Scoy, who threw home to retire Chris Bullock. Kerr was also the one that made it into second base on the error by Massey that allowed that inning to keep going. 1-0 pitch to Kerr, or rather first pitch to Kerr results in a 1-0 count as it missed outside. Now Weber's 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off to the left side. He'll get over the Michigan bullpen and bouncing over the indoor facilities. Counts 1-1. Weber gets his sign with a glove right about at his belt. Winds up, never really moving the glove above his letters before throwing the ball to home plate and inducing a swing and a miss out of Kerr. That counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. And something we've mentioned a couple times, talk about the uniforms all season, or all series long rather. Really a big fan of the Illinois hats. It's the 1-2 pitch, misses outside for a ball, 2-2 now. They're blue with the orange bills and the bright orange eye on them. I like the contrast there between the bill and the rest of the hat, personally at least.
Yeah, it's certainly a decent look.
2-2 pitch, way ahead of it. That breaking ball was Kerr, and he fouled it into the Illinois dugout. Still 2-2. Looks especially sharp with the blue uniforms today, where there's not too much orange on the actual uniforms themselves, so the bill of the cap really sticks out. 2-2 pitch rollover there from Kerr. Hits it to the first baseman Spillane, who fields and wins the foot race to first base for out number 1.
Yeah, dark blue and bright orange are not always the easiest color combination to pull off, and you kind of see it there. It looks a little bit too contrasting there on the catcher's gear of David Cran, heavily orange bodied chest pad, but the trick to it is, I'd say, really minimize have enough of the orange that you notice, but not so much that it's painful on the eyes, and they appear to have accomplished that today.
Harrison Salter steps in, takes a pitch at the knees for strike 1. Now working quickly, Weber fires the 0-1 pitch, misses low for ball 1. You got to be careful with those bright colors. You don't want to go full University of Oregon, perhaps, where they just really steer into being as bright and as loud as possible. And we see that with Baylor basketball also over the past few seasons.
Over the course of 3 seasons of Oregon football, they wore a different uniform every game, and I hated most of them.
Swing and a miss there from Salter at a breaking ball sets him down 1-2. Weber's ready for a 1-2 pitch. Another breaking ball, swing and a miss there. Salter just overmashed in that at-bat. He goes down swinging. That's the second strikeout of the day for Weber. And now 2 gone in the inning from Jack Blomgren. The argument could be made also, if we're talking about bright color uniforms, the old Michigan highlighter uniforms as well they wore back when Adidas was the official sponsor. They started to get really, really bright yellow or maize, depending on how you want to frame whatever color that was near the end of the Adidas tenure.
Well, those uniforms are going to get a bad rap, mostly just because they will forever be associated with the Rodriguez and Hoke years of the Michigan football program. However, I must...
As the 1-0 pitch from Blomgren is skied high into center field, Taylor will make the play without any trouble. He does for out number 3. Second straight 1-2-3 inning there from Ty Weber. And through 4, the score remains Michigan 3, Illinois 1.
I must concede that in some cases, Michigan's uniforms aren't always helped, especially in night games with the light. You know, the Wolverines played 2 night games last year against Michigan State and Minnesota. Both times looked a little bit highlighter-ish, though I must say I did like their uniforms in the last season of the Adidas contract. Jim Harbaugh's first year, obviously the all-white road uniforms and the home uniforms. The yellow, the brightness is a little bit toned down, looked a little bit more subtle, and I thought those were good uniforms before they switched to Nike and the new numbering.
Yeah, I have to agree there. That last season with Adidas, almost a last-ditch effort there to try to get back to the original maize and blue that you see with the Nike deal. It's much more close, or much closer now, the colors Michigan wears, to what you see, for example, on the outfield fence here at Ray Fisher Stadium, where the foul poles and the lettering across the fence touting regional titles and College World Series appearances are more of a golden yellow than they are a bright highlighter yellow.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement.
There are still remnants of that bright maize color, bright yellow color, such as on the catching mask of Harrison Salter. He wears the helmet with the detachable mask on it. That's a little bit brighter than you see for just about the rest of the uniforms, but really not noticeable unless you look for it.
Yes, that's of course painted on the face mask. Sometimes as that gets exposed to air, that's not on clothing. It's a little bit, it can fade a little bit harder to see, and especially and even on clothes, Michigan teams that do wear yellow, such as basketball has a yellow uniform, hockey has a yellow sweater, generally not particularly bright, relatively faded.
I'm a big fan of the Michigan baseball maize uniforms as well. Of course, they had the rotation of this series, at least. They wore the whites on Friday with the Michigan across the chest, the blues yesterday, Michigan across the chest, and today the pinstripes with the block M. But normally that maize uniform with Michigan across the chest makes their way into the rotation in some capacity. Big fan of those personally. We're waiting for TV timeout to finish up, maybe a head coach interview with Eric Bakich, looking into the dugout here. Holding up Karl Kaufman, who's been ready to throw for the better half of a minute now.
Grant Van Scoy looks like he's about ready to bat, and looks like they're ready to go.
And so finally ready to resume action here in the top of the fifth. As you mentioned, Grant Van Scoy at the plate against Karl Kaufman. Ball bounces in the dirt, sets him ahead in the count 1-0.
This game, of course, being broadcast on Big Ten Network today after being on Big Ten Plus yesterday.
We had the softball championships on before that one, so not sure what the coverage status is on BTN TV right now. Say swing and a mess.
Well, I think at least there's some TV coverage, of course, by that TV timeout with commercial breaks. Maybe we need to ask WCBN alum and Big Ten Network employee Mr. Kevin Klein about potentially shortening up those TV timeouts.
Speed it up, Mr. Klein, please. As the 1-1 pitch misses outside for a ball, 2-1. Van Scoy, no official at bat on the day. He walked in the third after working the count full and came around to score the only run of the ball game thus far for Illinois. This time he taps a 2-1 pitch into the Michigan dugout, or rather over the Michigan dugout, and out of play. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch Karl Kaufman throws will be pitch number 60. Here it comes. It's swung on down the right field line, now tailing though and getting out of play into the Illinois bullpen. So Van Scoy, just like he did in his last plate appearance, staying alive, getting Karl Kaufman's pitch count up. And Van Scoy just really seeing the ball well right now. I mentioned his big day yesterday. Looks really dialed in at the plate. 2-2 pitch. Chopped towards third. Waiting back and making the play is Kerr. Makes a strong throw, an accurate throw over to first for out number 1 here in the 5th.
Well, it's something that at this point, obviously, it's a few more pitches in an at-bat than you'd like to see from your starting pitcher. However, at this point, the way Grant Van Scoy is seeing the ball right now, the junior from Papillion, Nebraska, really just getting him out is a little bit of an achievement in and of itself at this point.
That'll bring up the catcher, 9-hitter David Cran. Cran takes a first pitch strike right down the middle from Kaufman, and it's 0-1. Cran, like Van Scoy before him, also no official at-bat. He had a walk but was stranded on third back in the third. This time he hits a high fly ball near right field. Slater's going, or rather, Bullock back at the track. The wall, it's gone! David Cran, first home run of the season for him. In limited action, hasn't shown a whole lot of pop, but did so there, going opposite field to right field and depositing it over a leaping glove of Christian Bullock to bring Illinois within one here. It's 3-2.
Yeah, that didn't even, off the bat, it didn't look like it was particularly hard hit. Just kind of looked like a routine fly ball. Bullock going back, but once it reached that point, you realized it was gone. It had absolutely no chance. That they're about, maybe 350 feet out over by the scoreboard in right field. Cran, of course, the junior from your hometown of Chicago, Illinois.
Go back to the top of the Illinois order now for Zach Taylor. He takes the first pitch away for ball one. And the second pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. A lot of Illinois and Chicagoland flavor on this Illinois roster, predictably. There's the 1-1 pitch. Straight on the bunt there, did Taylor. He bunted through it for strike 2. Now, only one player on this Illinois roster from south of the Mason-Dixon line. That's the catcher from Friday's ball game who was scratched yesterday, Jeff Cordy.
From Melbourne, Florida.
Everyone else from the Midwest. This 1-2 pitch is ripped by Taylor in the deep left field. Going back near the track is Wogu. He makes the grab with 1 foot on that warning track for out number 2.
A little bit of unfortunate luck there for Zach Taylor. He hits that to the opposite side, same distance. That's a home run, but left field, a little bit of an indent there in the wall over by the retired numbers, and Woku had to range over to right in front of Ray Fisher's retired number 44 to make that play.
So Kaufman now with 2 gone, nobody on. Ben Troike at the plate, fires a first pitch strike. Troike 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI single in the third. Illinois' first run of the ball game. Winding up now, 0-1 pitch. Misses down and in despite Harrison Salter's best framing efforts. And the count's 1-1. Kaufman gets the sign with a glove right in front of his face, and then winds up and fires a 1-1 pitch that's fouled off to the right side and out of play. Counts 1-2. Trying to retire Troike on strikes is a tough proposition. Kaufman will try here with a 1-2 pitch. It's high for ball 2.
Carl Kaufman now up and over 70 pitches, that was his 71st.
As we get deeper into this ball game, something to keep an eye on. It's the 2-2 pitch, line towards right field. It'll be Bullock ranging near the line, makes the grab on the run, but pretty easily for out number 3. So the solo home run from David Cran is the only thing going there in that inning, but it does cut the Michigan lead in half after 4.5 innings of play. We're halfway home with Michigan leading Illinois by a score of 3-2. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, it's something that a little bit unfortunate. Of course, the lead now down to only 3-2, but Carl Kaufman still had a relatively strong game so far, and his quality start is still intact, having given up 2 runs in 5 innings. As Ty Weber, having thrown 68 pitches in 4 innings, goes out and that is an average of 17 an inning, goes out for a 5th inning of work, having given up 3 hits, 3 runs, none earned, and 2 strikeouts, having over the course of having faced 18 batters. Like we said, a little bit unfortunate for him. None of the runs are earned. All charged to defensive errors by the Illini after having gone the first 2 games of the series without committing any. Have now committed 2, and the Wolverines on the flip side, have yet to commit an error this game after committing 7 over the last 2 games.
Knock on wood there. Michigan, so far this season, it seems to be, if they play sound fundamental baseball in the field, not chasing pitches when you're at the plate, they normally do a pretty solid job of getting the job done and getting some W's. But when they do commit those errors, as you mentioned, it just ends up not really working out too well for them. For whatever reason, the pitchers can't quite rebound. They it tends to spiral out of control, as we saw the last couple of games, with Illinois putting up 10 runs in each. So it's paramount to avoid those errors if you're Michigan and keep playing the way they have today, which is just good, sound baseball. They'll look to tack out some insurance here, now only leading by 1. And they'll try to do so by going back to the top of the order with the K.O. Thomas here in the 5th. First pitch to Thomas is high for a ball, 1-0. Thomas not credited with an RBI on the catcher's interference. That was my original inclination there, but had a little mix-up with scoring as the 1-0 pitch is on the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Technically just 0 for 1, though. Catcher's interference does not count against his batting average. 1-0 pitch swung on there. Big swing from K.O. Thomas. Comes up empty. And it's 1-2 now. He is grounded to first. And on that catcher's interference, it was a ground ball to second. That looked like it was going to end the second inning. Fouls a 1-2 pitch off behind the plate, out of play. As it stands, it gave Michigan an early lead that they have yet to relinquish. Winding up now, 1-2 pitch from Weber is in the dirt. Stopped by Cran behind the plate, and it's 2-2. Thomas waves that bat in front of him. Now he's ready for a 2-2 pitch and watches that one also bounce across the plate. And the count's now full, 3-2. K.O. Thomas working the pitch count of Ty Weber now. This next pitch, number 75 on the day for him here in the 5th. Not really action on down there in the Illinois bullpen yet, as 3-2 pitches line, but foul down the left field line. We saw earlier in the 2nd there was a little bit of stirring, and the Illinois pitchers are down there in the bullpen, unlike yesterday's ball game where they didn't go down to the pen until after the first hit of the game was surrendered by Andy Fisher. Another 3-2 pitch from K.O. Thomas, lined deep into center field. Taylor's back, nearing the track in right center. He makes the grab on the run for out number 1.
Well, that's first ball in a while hit by K.O. Thomas that's managed to make it into the outfield. Unfortunately for him, center fielder Taylor was in good position and was able to go out and make the play.
He was playing relatively close in. That's been a trend for Taylor this entire series. He likes to play shallow out there and retreat on the ball if he needs to. I've yet to see any issues with his range in general, though. Very good defensive center fielder, Zach Taylor.
Well, he's probably playing shallow because the Wolverines really don't have a whole lot of players who can drive the ball straight away. A lot of their power is toward the corners, towards the scoreboard in right or the wall in left field.
Clemente was trying to put one near that scoreboard in right as he swung and missed at a 1-0 pitch on a breaking ball and came up empty, 1-1.
As a result, most of Zach Taylor's service this series has really been on ground balls coming to him or pop-ups to shallow center.
1-1 pitch now misses low. It's 2-1. Clemente for Michigan, 2 for 2 already on the day. 2 singles, 2 RBIs for him. He had the big blow in the 2nd that has Michigan out in front, 3-2 still. He takes a pitch high and away now, 3-1. He's in a good hitter's count. See if Clemente lets it rip. Does have some pop in the bat. 15 extra base hits this year, including 4 home runs, 5 triples. He chops one towards short. Troike makes the play on 2 hops, throws to first a bit high, but Spillane keeps his foot on the bag and retires Clemente.
Well, when your first baseman is Brent Spillane and is 6'5", you can get away with throwing a little bit high, but Clemente there was really charging at first base, and Troike had to get it out of his hand quickly, and it went a little bit off target. But as we said, Spillane is large enough that that's no problem. Even if the Wolverines' first baseman Jesse Franklin is 6'2" out there, that may be a different story.
Yeah, barely getting the glove on that one did Spillane. And now retiring 9 straight has Taylor, or Weber rather. It started with a strikeout to Engelman to end the second inning, and he starts this at bat with a low fastball for ball 1. One-0 pitch at the belt, right down the middle of the plate. 1-1. Engelman's 1 for 2 in the day. Single in the first, struck out in the second, as just mentioned. Weber shaking off his catcher Cran a couple times, now ready, 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit high and deep towards center field, but Taylor's got room. He'll make the play for out number 3. So another 1-2-3 inning here from Weber. He's retired 10 straight and looks to really be settling in. Through 5 innings of play, Michigan maintains a slim 1-run lead. It's 3-2 over the Illinois Fighting Illini. Here on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan Baseball, WCBN Sports.
Yes, Ty Weber really been strong all game, as we said. He has yet to give up an earned run. That second inning, of course, was rough on him because of the defense. However, really settled in. However, something that I think they will need to watch for is he has now thrown 85 pitches on the game through 5 innings, so something that Coach Dan Hartley will have to watch him in the 6th inning very closely, what will likely be his last inning of work.
His counterpart Carl Kaufman only thrown 72 pitches thus far, cruising along through 5 with a couple of speed bumps, but for the most part been solid, especially against the man that's due up to start the inning, Brent Spillane. The best hitter in this Illinois lineup, perhaps the best hitter in the Big Ten, is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts swinging against Kaufman. Just hasn't seen the ball well out of his hand, and I think there's only been a couple swings that Spillane's even come particularly close on. I think he fouled one off back to the screen, a little bit half-hearted, and last at-bat just looked all out of sorts.
Yeah, as you said, Spillane hit 2 home runs on Friday. As you said, both opposite field and both very long distances. Had we been playing in a professional stadium, they would have found themselves in the second deck. But now I think at this point, he, really these yesterday and today, he might be trying to force it a little bit.
He is strikeout prone. He's got 49 on the season now after registering those 2 today. But more than makes up for it with his slugging in general. Still on pace to be the first college player to slug over 950 since Ricky Weeks in 2002. Takes the first pitch down and in for a ball, 1-0. He's got a 960 slugging percentage, which would set the Big Ten record.
Of course, his Spillane slugging looks to be completely derived from power. Of course, Ricky Weeks, generally considered to be a base stealer, a runner, not known for legging out doubles and triples, not necessarily parking balls over the wall as Spillane does with rather unnerving frequency.
2-0 pitch, dangerous situation perhaps, but Kaufman finds the outside corner with what looks to be a changeup. Bring the count to 2-1. Kaufman winds up, 2-1 pitch to Spillane. Misses off the outside corner, 3-1 now, and Spillane's in control of this count. Talked a couple times yesterday, just the scary nature of Brent Spillane. When you get down in the count, it almost seems like you just want to concede and give him the base. But leadoff walks tend not to age well. He'll have to deal with one there. So I'm not really sure where that pitch missed, to be completely honest with you. It looked pretty good, but
a little bit of malcontention here amongst the fans here at Ray Fisher Stadium. I don't think they really like that one.
I'm guessing it missed a bit inside on Spillane based on where Salter was set up, but didn't seem to move the glove at all from that inside part of the plate. Regardless, though, we don't have the best view, I'll admit that, so I'll defer to home plate umpire Daniel Jimenez. And Spillane takes his spot on first base. Michael Massey comes up and takes a pitch off the outside corner for ball 1. Massey, lefty, 1 for 2 in the ball game today with a hard single into center and a strikeout. Running on the pitch is Spillane. It's bounced towards Akeo Thomas in second. He pitches to second for 1. The relay throw to first. In time, double play. What a play all the way around by the Wolverines there.
Well, that was very close. They looked a little bit unsure of themselves, of course. That was a little ball came to Thomas right as Spillane's running right across him. He had a little bit of a quick decision to make. Looked a little bit unsure of himself, but good throw to Blomgren, and Blomgren, of course, doesn't hesitate. Fires it right over to Jesse Franklin on first base to get that double play, and that really, as this game goes on and as the starting pitcher's pitch counts get higher, that's going to be very important.
I think the most interesting part, I think Blomgren actually did double clutch on that one after fielding the ball at second from Akeo Thomas. Almost waited to see what the call would be from second base umpire Doug Williams. Once he saw out, then he fired to first. It was a really awkward-looking play, but a strong arm on Blomgren to get that relay throw over to Franklin and get the double play. Michael Mahalik now comes in and takes the first 2 pitches of the at-bat, 1 for a strike, 1 for a ball.
If only Jack Blomgren could hit as far as he could throw, or hit as hard as he could throw, we'd be talking about potentially him getting Big Ten player, Freshman of the Year plaudits as opposed to Jesse Franklin.
1-1 pitch, bounces low and past Salter at the plate. It's 2-1. Blomgren has shown, especially later in the season, just the poise he has at the plate. Especially if you look at that on-base percentage all the way up over 300 now, near the 350 mark. It was toiling down farther. He was striking out a lot, but has since really gathered a command for the plate. You have to figure that the bat not too far behind. Be really fun to see his development here in Ann Arbor over the next couple years, especially given that he's good enough defensively to be a starting shortstop every single day for head coach Eric Bakich.
Yes, it's just a case for him just working on his swing and his contact. Similar case as
2-2 pitches, line near right field, making a sliding grab in the right center is Christian Bullock for out number 3.
Excellent sliding play there by Bullock, and as I said yesterday, Jordan Wogu really only missing a little bit more pop in the bat from becoming really a complete player. And Blomgren is a similar case. If he can establish some contact, he will be probably one of the best left-sided infielders in the conference in these next 2 or 3 years.
A young Michigan Wolverine team really coming around near the end of the season. They lead Illinois by a score of 3-2 through 5.5 innings here on the last home game of the year. WCBN Sports covering it. It's Austin Falco and Nick Hornberg here on the call for you. And it really has been interesting to see this young team grow throughout the season. Near the beginning of the year, it just seemed like they were not settled in at all, which is to be expected when you have roster turnover like Michigan had, where they had 11 players drafted and had to replace almost the entire starting lineup. Akeo Thomas, Engelman, and Miles Lewis, the only returners, and Miles Lewis has since been supplanted by younger replacements, such as Dominic Clementi. But really coming around towards the end of the season, as you mentioned, Jesse Franklin coming on in that second half. Jordan Wogu has looked good since coming back into Ann Arbor and Big Ten play. Granted, he's being played more as a matchup space player for Eric Bakich, but still, this is his 30th start of the year. Guys like Chris Bullock chugging along through the season, somewhat unheralded, even though he's been solid all season long. Still has a bit of holes, but that's pretty much the story of this Wolverine team, is guys with small holes that they need to work on over the next couple of years that could make this into a serious powerhouse. Especially given the young pitching staff they have, that's been phenomenal.
Yes, and it's going to start from the top of anywhere. Of course, it's going to fall to, of course, with Blomgren, Harrison Salter, Jesse Franklin, Jordan Wogu, all young players. It's really going to fall to the older players. Bullock will be a junior next year. Engelman and Akeo Thomas will be seniors. It's really going to fall to them really to lead this team, to work on their game. and it's something. And we've seen Akeo Thomas last year. We know he has the potential, but something to watch for next year's team.
One of the young guys, Jesse Franklin, takes an 0-1 pitch and grounds it towards second base. Moving into right field, making the play was the second baseman Massey to throw to the pitcher Weber, covering first. The old 4-1 putout for out number 1.
The left fielder, number 42, Jordan Wogu.
You mentioned Akeo Thomas going to be a senior leader next year. Same with Jonathan Engelman, assuming they both are returning. Engelman's had himself quite the season. He could garner some looks in the MLB draft potentially. Jordan Wogu, another young freshman here. Lines one down the right field line, but that'll hook into the Illinois bullpen out of play. Counts 0-1 on him. But the pitching staff really, I think, has been the most surprising and pleasantly surprising parts of this season. You got sophomore Tommy Henry has been fantastic as your Friday starter. Freshman Ben Dragani has been great as a Saturday starter. Another sophomore and Kyle Kaufman, your Sunday starter. And that was not expected coming into this season. We expected to see the likes of Alec Renard, Jace Van Sena really getting into the rotation. A couple of seniors.
Yeah, well, it's something. It's youth movement can be a little bit of a double-edged sword. It can mean one of two things. It can mean either your development is excellent, your youth players are playing great, or it means that your seniors are ineffective and just turning to youth because there's nothing to lose. It's really been more of the former. Of course, Renard hasn't really had the greatest of seasons, but out of the pen. But really, these younger guys have played very well.
After the foul ball to start the at-bat, Weber has been unable to find the strike zone with the next 3 pitches. Runs the count to 3-1 and then induces a big swing and a miss from Jordan Wogu, perhaps trying to double that 1-run Michigan lead. Wogu does have the pop to do so. 5 home runs on the season. 8 other extra base hits as well. 3-2 pitch to him. Hit high and deep towards left field. That ball is way out of here, making 6 home runs on the season for Jordan Wogu. Clears that tall wall in left field by a good amount of distance and a good amount of height. Got into one that was right down the middle from Ty Weber. And as I said, doubles that Michigan lead. It's now 4-2.
Yes, absolutely right there. I said Wogu needs to work on his pop. That's his 6th home run. And, you know, if the end of next season, if that 6 turns into 12 or even 10, that's something that's a player that's going to get a lot of attention from MLB scouts. And Wogu, still, bear in mind, only a young freshman, and is going to hit, I believe with that, his average is now up to about 390.
He's got the frame for it, too. 6'3", 225. Just a big presence in the plate, and shows what can happen when he gets all 225 into that swing.
Good defense
Chris
in left
Bullock
field
now
as
lays
well.
on a bunt near the left field, or rather third base line, but a barehanded play by Weber gets him out at first. 1-3 on the putout, and now 2 gone in the inning for Jimmy Kerr. Talk about the youth movement, and right on cue, Jordan Wogu delivers there. It's 3-12 to the corner near that brick wall, but have to imagine that one's probably out of here on just about any field, anywhere. Maybe not Fenway with the Green Monster being a little bit taller.
That may not get over the Green Monster.
It still might get into the first row. It was hit fairly high, maybe not quite high enough, but a lot of power in that bat for just a freshman.
Yeah, that's an extra base hit off the Green Monster at Fenway, but it's correct. Anywhere else, that is a home run. That made it 350 feet.
At least there. Kerr splits the first 2 pitches of the at-bat, 1 ball and 1 strike near the outside corner. Kerr, the left-handed hitter, waits the 1-1 from the right-handed throwing Weber, pokes one as he's out in front of it into the Michigan bullpen. Counts 1-2 now. Kerr is 0 for 2 in the ballgame today. Reached on a fielder's choice and a ground out to first. Has scored a run, though, the first run for Michigan all the way back in the 2nd inning. Kerr waggles that bat above his left shoulder. As Weber steps off, takes a second to reset. Now try to get out of the inning here. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and roped down the right field line this time, but it hooks foul and into the Illinois bullpen this time. So Kerr still in there at 1-2.
With Kerr's inclusion in the lineup and, of course, with Clemente's emergence this series, this is really, as far as Michigan's lineups this season have been concerned, one of the more left-handed heavy ones with 4 left-handed batters. Of course, usually Miles Lewis DHing as the switch hitter, and Blake Nelson as a right-handed batter, usually the usual third base starter.
1-2 pitch to Kerr. Line down the left field line. Will it stay fair? Yes, it will. Into the left field corner. Kerr's going to have himself a double there as Turchin cannot get there. It bounces over the sidewall. It's ground rule double from Jimmy Kerr here with 2 gone in the 6th. That'll bring up Harrison Salter.
Something interesting to watch. These Illini pitchers may have a little bit of difficulty with these later hitters. Footage on them as they usually would.
Salter takes the first pitch from Weber. It bounces in the dirt. 1-0 now. Good stop there from the catcher, Cran. Keeps Kerr at second. Not that there's a huge difference between second and third at this point with 2 gone in the inning. Salter 0 for 2 in the day. Fielder's choice and a strikeout for him. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed low. Counts 1-1. That one looked to be on the changeup from Weber. It was the breaking ball of Ty Weber that got Harrison Salter all out of sorts in his last at-bat. Salter, the one sleeve, takes a big swing and miss at that same breaking ball. Maybe got a piece of it and fouled at the plate, but counts 1-2. It looks like he did get a piece of it and actually fouled it right back into his counterpart, Cran. Cran takes a second. Going to jog it off a little bit. Looks like he might have gotten hit on the thigh. Just above where the shin protector reaches the knee. Big Ten news. It looks like Minnesota has won the softball tournament championship. They'll be on their way to the NCAAs. Of course, we had Jeremy Parks and Alex Drain, our colleagues, out there this weekend for that Big Ten tournament in Madison.
They were not an overjoyed pair of individuals after the unfortunate, I believe it was 10-2 loss to Michigan State in the quarterfinals.
Harrison Salter swings and misses at the 1-2 pitch and goes down on strikes for the second time today. Ty Weber's third of the ball game. And that'll do it for the 6th inning here. After 6 innings of play, thanks to a solo home run from Jordan Wogu in that bottom of the 6th, Michigan leads Illinois by a score of 4-2 on WCBN sports coverage of Michigan baseball. 2/3 of the way through this ball game, and so far headed in the right direction if you're Michigan, especially on the pitching and defensive end of things. After giving up 10 runs in each of the last 2 ball games, they've made it through the 6th without putting up or without allowing a crooked number for Illinois. That was really what did things in the last couple days. Was a one big inning. Yesterday it was a 6-run inning in the 5th. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 4-run inning back on Friday early on in the 2nd. Illinois followed up by tacking on a couple more runs throughout the game. For Illinois here, trying to even things up. They trail by 2. It'll be the left fielder Doran Turchin, right fielder Jack Yalowitz, and third baseman Grant Van Scoy. 3 of the main cogs in yesterday's 10-run attack coming to the plate. Should any of them reach, we'll see a man that just homered in his last at-bat and is having himself a nice day, David Cran.
Yes, Carl Kaufman now thrown 84 pitches across 23 batters. in 6 innings of work, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Maybe those walks are a little concerning, but otherwise, you're already assured Kaufman has already pitched a quality start, and it's really something that you can take into the weekend. Of course, the results Friday and Saturday from the pitching staff are not what one would hope for.
So it'll be Turchin making his way to the plate to begin the 7th inning. Once we get the okay to go, and we do, thumbs up,
they're
ready to resume play.
Currently showing highlights on the Big Ten Network.
Getting the game recapped where we are today, including that long home run that just happened last inning by Jordan Wogu. First pitch from Kaufman to Turchin is off the inside corner for a ball, 1-0. Second pitch, the at-bat, misses low for a ball, 2-0.
And now the 2-0 pitch, and swung on and grounded to second baseman Akeo Thomas, thrown over to first Jesse Franklin to record the first out of the inning.
The right fielder, number 3, Jack Yellowitz.
And now second baseman, right fielder Jack Yellowitz steps up into the box to be the second batter that Carl Kaufman faces this inning as Austin has re-entered the building.
Had a little bit of an obstruction there in our view. After the Doran Turchin ground out, Jack Yallowitz takes the ball low and outside, 1-0. The second pitch also misses outside, it's 2-0. Kaufman in a groove right now. 2-0 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-1. Left-handed hitting Jack Yallowitz. 0 for 2 in the ball game today. Watches one skip and is ahead in the count, 3-1.
Despite the right-handed Kaufman, as we mentioned on the mound, the Illini, same lineup as yesterday, only 2 left-handed batters, second baseman Michael Massey and Jack Yallowitz.
Ground ball hit towards Akeo Thomas. He makes the play, ranging over near first a bit, and throws over after a little pirouette for out number 2. A couple ground outs to Akeo Thomas to start things here in the 7th. Brings up Grant Van Scoy.
The third baseman, number 27, Grant Van Scoy.
Van Scoy 0 for 1 in the ball game. Walked back in the 3rd, came around to score a run. The first run of the ball game for Illinois. Also grounded out back in the 5th to third baseman Jimmy Kerr. This time he chops one towards who else? Akeo Thomas. He makes the play, ranging to the second base bag, throws to first. Nice play there. Ends the inning. 3 ground outs. Akeo Thomas, a busy man in that inning. And we are at the 7th inning stretch now. Michigan leads Illinois by the score still of 4-2.
Now join us in the time honored tradition of singing "Hit Me Out to the Ball Game."
All right, now we're back after the, I believe, the final 7th inning stretch of Austin Falco's WCBN career. And now Carl Kaufman, through 7 innings, only thrown 93 pitches. Possibly his last inning of work, but I wouldn't surprise me at all if Eric Bakich decides to send him out for the 8th. And it looked like there is a little bit of activity in the bullpen, but
Looks like Angelo Smith and Jace Van Sena warming up with each other. Would not be surprised if it's possible to get Jace Van Sena in this game. Head coach Eric Bakich will do so. You mentioned the seniors honored this today for Senior Day. Already making appearances this weekend were Austin Batka and Alec Bernard. And last pitcher to make an appearance this weekend would be Jace Van Sena. And makes his way in.
Now it looks like the starter, Ty Weber, his day is done. His final stats for today, in 103 pitches, 71 were strikes, 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 1 earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts, 2 hit batters, giving up 1 home run and 1 additional extra base hit. And replacing him is going to be number 45, the sophomore from Byron, Minnesota, Ryan Thompson.
Thompson, the right-hander, making his 20th appearance of the year. One of the most off-use arms out of the bullpen for the head coach for Illinois, Dan Hartland. He is 7-3 on the year with a 2.70 ERA. A lot of records being made out there in the bullpen. 7-3. That's a lot of decisions. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for there. Anyways, in 33 1/3 innings worth of baseball for Ryan Thompson. He has struck out 36, walked 14. Opponents only hit 202 against the right-hander. For Michigan's sake, they're hoping Ryan Thompson doesn't add to his decisions. That would mean they relinquish what is currently a 2-0 lead, or rather a 2-run lead. Instead, they'll be looking to tack on more with Jack Blomgren, the 9-hitter, stepping up to the plate to lead off the 7th. Righty against righty. Thompson working from the windup. Fires a fastball. It misses inside, 1-0. Noticeable uptick in velocity here as Thompson comes into the game. Throwing a little bit harder than each of the 2 starting pitchers. Time call at the plate before the 1-0 pitch. It would have missed high, but it was the catcher Cran called for time.
Well, and as shown by the last inning of K.O. Thomas's defense, really the Wolverines are very strong right in the middle of the infield, especially on the defensive side with Thomas and Blomgren. Now it's really just a case of Thomas rediscovering his old form and Blomgren's contact coming around to really going to be a very strong second short pairing next year.
Those 2 start off the inning here, and after another pitch misses wild and high for ball 2. A fastball comes in at the knees on the inside corner for strike 1. The 2-1 pitch is in there for strike 2 now, evened up at 2-2. And 2-2 pitch. High fastball again, a little bit wild from Thompson. The count's full. Really trying to rein in the command here will be Ryan Thompson. He's missing high a lot in this at-bat to Blomgren at least. 3-2 pitch on its way. Behind the pitch and tapped right towards second. Massey makes an easy play, charging in, and tosses to first for out number 1. That'll lead to Jack Blomgren's middle infield mate, K.O. Thomas, coming up to the plate for the 4th time today. Thomas 0 for 3 in the ball game, rather 0 for 2. He reached on the catcher's interference back in the 2nd that drove in the first run for Michigan. He also grounded out to first and hit a hard line drive into deep center field, or rather deep right center, that was tracked down by Taylor. Takes the first pitch he sees of the day from Ryan Thompson for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch misses high, though, and evens the count up at 1-1. Thomas never one to slug a whole lot. 10 extra base hits on the year, all doubles. We expect to see maybe a little bit more of a triples presence with his speed, but hasn't had one this season yet. Watches the 1-1 pitch miss outside for a ball, 2-1. Big arm of Thompson fires a fastball that Thomas is tardy on and fouls off to the right side out of play.
Something interesting, too. note, David Cran's catching stance, generally he goes down a little bit on his knees, contorts himself a little bit. Not a little bit like butterfly goalies in hockey, with the knees folding outwards. It works for him, but it almost looks like a little dangerous on the knees.
Hard hit ground ball right at the second baseman, Massey. He's busy this inning with a couple of ground outs as he retires Thomas at first for out 2. Dominic Clementi will try to reverse the trend of going down on ground outs here in the 7th. He is 2 for 3 in the ball game today. 2 singles and a ground out, 2 RBIs. The second of which currently sitting as the game winner should the score hold up. First pitch of the at-bat is a breaking ball that misses low, 1-0. And with the 3 ground outs to Thomas in the top half of this inning, the 2 ground outs to Massey in the bottom half of this inning, every out has been made by the second baseman. This changes the trend, though, as it's hit to the first baseman, Spillane, instead. The ball barely stays fair as it crosses the first base bag. And Spillane handles it, runs to the bag, and retires Clementi for out number 3. So quick inning there, 6 ground outs altogether. We're through 7 innings of play, hitting the home stretch. Michigan leads Illinois by a score of 4-2 still on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Well, that's exactly what the Illini needed. Thompson comes out there and gives them one quick inning, 1-2-3 inning. They would not have. I very much would have hurt them if the Wolverines been able to string together a few hits, even if they hadn't scored any runs. And it's something that is very important right now. The Wolverines, the Illini, really need to get the Wolverines up and down in very, very short order. Allow themselves more time in the box, and carry on. And now it looks like Carl Kaufman is still going to be out there for his 8th inning of work. Wait a minute,
It is Jeff Criswell replacing him.
Excuse me. Yes, I apologize. Carl Kaufman's day is done. His final totals: 92 pitches, 55 of them strikes, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, no hit batters, only giving up 1 extra base hit, and that, of course, was the home run.
It will be Jeff Criswell relieving him, the freshman right-hander out of Portage, Michigan. Criswell making his 20th appearance of the season. He's 3-2 with a 2.84 ERA. Pitched just over 25 innings this year. He struck out 23, walked just 13. Opponents hitting a measly 198 against the freshman right-hander.
Yeah, Jeff Criswell, of course, been really important this season as really in this case as a setup man, and really as a long reliever, of course, in a March series against Bowling Green. Carl Kaufman had to exit in the 2nd inning with a little bit of a knock. Criswell came in, gave 5 strong innings of work, didn't give up a single run, and really has arguably been their best pitcher out of the pen this season, either him or maybe Will Tribuker.
We expect to see Tribuker probably in the 9th inning should the score hold up. He's been the closer for the Wolverines here. One head coach Eric Backich's trust, as did Jeff Criswell. But worth noting once again, Carl Kaufman's outing, just exactly what Michigan needed after, again, surrendering 10 runs each of the first 2 games of the series. He held Illinois down to just 2 in his 7 innings of work. He faced the minimum starting in the 4th inning, so really bared down after was a bit of a rough 3rd, but for the most part, smooth sailing all the way around. 1 over the minimum if you're just not counting that 3rd inning at all. Really just a fantastic job for the sophomore. He turns it over to the freshman Criswell now. He throws first pitch that misses just off the plate away to David Cran, the junior catcher for Illinois. Winding up now is Criswell, and Cran hits a line drive that K.O. Thomas one-hops, backhanded stab, throws to first to make the play for out number 1.
That's why K.O. Thomas is still in the lineup, and that's why he's still hitting lead off. That much like Jack Blomgren, that defensive contribution is invaluable. Two players that are, as the season has rolled on eventually have become very similar. Their hitting isn't quite to where it could be, but both providing excellent middle infield defense and excellent on-base percentages.
The fourth straight play while the Wolverines have been in the field that Akeo Thomas has made. As a first pitch from Criswell to Zach Taylor is on the knees for a strike. Criswell winds up, puts that glove over his head and behind his head, and now misfires on the 1-1 or on the 0-1 to make it 1-1. He spun around out there on the turf, didn't have his footing, it looked like. One pitch is bounced towards the hole at short. Blomgren makes the play on the backhand. Strong throw to first in time to get him. Once again, as you're saying, the middle infield defense spectacular for the Wolverines, at least so far in this inning.
Well, Blomgren has a sniper rifle for an arm. That's strong throw. He's deep in the hole, closer to third base than he is to second. Fires it right, and Taylor isn't exactly slow. Fires it right across the infield, straight to Franklin on a line, perfectly placed. And now 2 outs in this inning. Criswell has only thrown 5 pitches.
And worth noting, a great stretch on the other end by Franklin as well. Had his very toe on the bag, stretched out to get all of that 6'2" frame he could into that one.
Oh, foul ball, bounces off the pavement and bounces off the side of a food truck. No food was harmed.
We assume.
I don't think it even dented the truck, but
0-1 pitch to Ben Troike now is lined towards right field, making a sliding play on a hop is Franklin. He throws to Criswell, covering first for out number 3. Very efficient 8th inning here. Great defense all the way around the infield for Michigan. And they've made it through 8 innings worth of defense, playing spectacularly and leading Illinois by a score of 4-2.
And absolutely fantastic play there by Criswell. Good job to run over and cover. Had to reach a little bit. Franklin's lob first was a little bit high, but we'll forgive him for that excellent stretch for the second out. Stretching from first base, something that I think a lot of people watching take a little bit for granted when they just say, oh, first base is just a position for your power hitter because it requires the least fielding range. And while to a certain degree that's right, you have to be able to stretch out. That's very important. And trust me, I played first base when I played kickball in high school. Stretching is hard.
Yeah, it does take some special flexibility, at least some stretching before the game, or you get yourself in position to play first base, as Jesse Franklin demonstrated in that inning. And Criswell did, covering first at the end of that inning. It'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, heart of the lineup for Michigan, looking to tack on some insurance before they go to the top of the 9th and hand the ball over, presumably to Will Tribuker.
Though I don't see him warming up.
Don't see him warm up. He could still be warming up inside, or again the far mound that's a bit obstructed from our view. Can't quite tell. He is the closer for Eric Bakich, but Jeff Criswell had such a fantastic inning there, just getting ground balls and being very efficient with it, that could see Criswell try to finish off the game as well.
Yes, Jeff Criswell only threw 7 pitches, 5 of them were strikes.
We'll get ready to resume the bottom of the 8th inning here with a matchup between Ryan Thompson, still on the mound for Illinois after his 1-2-3 inning, facing Jonathan Engelman, the center fielder for Michigan, who is 1 for 3 in the ball game, singled all the way back in the first, has since struck out and flew out to center field.
Here we go, Jinga!
He makes his usual walk up to the plate, marking a spot in the batter's box, and watching the first pitch miss high and away for ball 1. Working quickly is Thompson. He fires a fastball that Engelman's a bit late on and fouls to the right side out of play. Counts 1-1 now. Thompson, well, he waits for the sign, has to go with the belt, then brings it up to the face once he gets the sign and fires a fastball way over the head of everybody and all the way back to the backstop. Counts 2-1 now.
Hey, here we go, Jinga. Let's go, 2.
unlike Criswell, who took over in the same inning as him, or rather took over after him in the top half of this inning, does not bring that glove all the way behind the head, keeps it relatively composed around his chest while he's warming up, and he fires one that Engelman check swings and goes around on the high fastball, so it's 2-2.
Wonder if the boisterous fan in front of us realizes that he's sitting 3 feet away from a microphone.
I believe he does. I believe it's the Kerr family that is near us today. Always showing up as Engelman gets a ground ball into left field for a base hit.
Well, they've had a treat to see today. Of course, their son hitting a ground rule double.
Getting a start, first time in a bit. One of the other lefties in the lineup coming up to the plate now, Jesse Franklin.
To all along the watchtower, perhaps the last time we hear that here at Ray Fisher Stadium for the year.
It would take the Wolverines at least hope a big inning from their bats in order to hear that one again. But again, one of the top walk-up songs. I'd put it up there with Miles Lewis, but I'm also a Garth Brooks fan, so a little bit swayed by that. Anyways, Jesse Franklin steps up to the plate and takes the first pitch high and in for a ball, 1-0. Franklin 0 for 3 in the ballgame today. Did have a really good at-bat back in the third where he fouled off several pitches before flying out to left field. That at-bat went 9 pitches total. Engelman fakes running, and Franklin hits behind him to first base. Spillane makes the play at second for one. The relay throw is not in time to the pitcher Thompson covering. So Franklin,
and I think there's the difference right there. If Brent Spillane is standing on first, he's able to stretch that out, and that's a double play. And there's the difference right there. Of course, Thompson, good job, run over and cover the bag and take the throw, but he's smaller than Spillane. Well, as is everyone else, but certainly not a trained first baseman, not trained to stretch like that. And that's the difference right there.
Not many people can match that size of the 6'5", 215 Brent Spillane.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who isn't a basketball player who's able to rival him in size.
One guy that at least can look like he belongs in the same ballpark is Jordan Wogu, who's up to bat right now. He lines one, almost takes off the head of Thompson. My goodness, good thing he ducked there. That could have been nasty, but it goes into center field for a base hit. And Jordan Wogu absolutely ripping the cover off the ball now.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary right there. Good for Thompson for ducking, and happy to see that he's okay. Of course, we've had some scary moments with pitchers getting hit in the head. Recently, the one I can think of is Jordan Zimmerman 3 weeks ago getting hit with a pitch. And or the scary one I believe it was 2 years ago now, was Archie Bradley taking one off the jaw.
Yeah, we just saw the replay. That one did not miss his head by much, less than 6 inches probably.
Yeah.
6 inches at the most. It was a absolute rocket. And that'll be the last thing Thompson does in this game is dodge that shot up the middle as Illinois goes to the bullpen to a sprinting member of their bullpen coming all the way in from left field. We'll get the number for you in just a second. But Ryan Thompson is done here after an inning and a third of solid work. His final line yet to be determined as he is responsible for the runners on first and second here. Looks like it'll be Joey Gerber taking over here. Gerber, the right-handed junior out of Maple Grove, Minnesota. Making his 22nd appearance of the year. He's the Illinois closer. He's 0 for 1 with 13 saves, a 2.74 ERA. He's pitched in 23 innings. He struck out a whopping 38 batters, only walked 9. Opponents hit a minuscule 198 against the right-hander.
Yeah, he's got a very quick delivery. A little bit of an interesting, of course, he's warming up right now in the stretch. Very interesting. He starts with his leg side, then pulls his knee up and fires right around with a sidearm delivery.
So it'll be Gerber here, Illinois going to their closer, trying to keep this game within striking distance before they get to the top of the ninth. Michigan still leads by 2. The score 4-2. Game recap for you. It was in the bottom of the second inning where it looked like Illinois get out without any damage. a couple errors in that inning, a dropped ball at second base that would have ended the inning, and then a catcher's interference eventually led to 3 runs being scored for Michigan. Illinois answered with a run of their own in the top half of the 3rd inning, thanks to an RBI single from Ben Troike. There wasn't any scoring then until the 5th, when there was a solo home run from David Cran. And the 6th, a solo home run from Michigan's Jordan Wogu, has us right where we're at 4-2. When Gerber is ready to resume action and gets the okay, it'll be Christian Bullock, the first batter he faces. Bullock 0 for 3 on the ball game. They hit the ball on the ground 3 times. Once to second, in which he reached on a fielder's choice. Once to short. And once right back to the pitcher. Yep, last one, a bunt attempt that just couldn't quite push far enough to the third base line. With 1 gone in the inning, couple runners on. Don't think we'll see the bunt attempt here. Bullock just trying to drive in a run and get some insurance. He takes a big swing at a high fastball. It comes up empty. It's 0-1.
Looked like he wanted to put on 3 insurance runs right there.
And it's very enticing, that high fastball, but Gerber's got a lot of life in that arm. He comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Across the plate on the outside corner for a strike. Pickoff throw down to second. Not in time to get Franklin, but the count's 0-2 on Bullock now.
That actually could have been disastrous right there. They didn't have an infielder minding second base right there. Troike was a little bit far off, but if Cran misses right, that's in the outfield, and that's at least advances Franklin to third, possibly scores him.
Bullock down the count 0-2 to the fireballer Gerber. Called strike 3. No chance for Christian Bullock. Good afternoon, or good morning, good afternoon, good night. He sat down on strikes. Takes the spot back in the dugout, and they'll turn it over to Jimmy Kerr.
Jimmy Kerr.
So 2 gone in the inning. Couple runners on base. Jimmy Kerr 1 for 3 in the ball game. Scored a run back in the 2nd.
And Jimmy
Hit
Kerr,
a ground rule double in his last at bat.
And Jimmy Kerr not getting a whole lot of service right now, being the backup third baseman. Every at bat for him counts, and because really at this point, he's to a large extent playing for next year. In that, what is likely going to be, or what could potentially turn into an interesting position battle for third base between him and Blake Nelson.
First pitch to the at bat looked like it crossed up Cran a bit. As Kerr barely got a piece of it. Might have also fouled it off home plate umpire Daniel Jimenez. As Cran walks out to the mound to talk over with Gerber. See the replay there. It did indeed get right under the mask of Jimenez. Almost got him right on the chin. As it stands, though, it's 0-1 on Kerr. Righty against lefty. Gerber checks the runner on second. Now fires. Kerr hits a hard ground ball, but right at the first baseman, Spillane. He'll take it to the bag himself for out number 3. And we are down to the final inning of this one. Illinois has got their last bats coming up in the top half of the 9th inning. Michigan leading by a score of 4-2.
Yeah, Wolverines unfortunately not able to tack on any insurance runs. As a result, 2-run lead, clinging to a 2-run lead in the 9th inning as the save situation is on, and it looks like it is going to be Will Tribuker out there on the mound. Sure. Yes, it is Will Tribuker, yes. The junior left-hander from San Clemente, California.
Tribuker making his 19th appearance on the season. One of those was a start. He is 3-3, 4 saves on the season, leads the Wolverine team. 3.06 his ERA. He's pitched just over 32 innings, struck out 36, walked just 15. Opponents hit 198, or rather 189, against the Michigan closer for this season.
Yes, and coming up, fortunately for the Illini, coming up, their first 2 batters in this inning are Spillane and Massey.
Got the heart of the order, 3-4-5. Tribuker will have his work cut out for him. He's going to get the save in this one.
And Austin, you've been given a heck of a last ninth inning to call.
Should be a fun one, especially with the likes of Spillane and Massey and Mahalik coming up to the plate. Bucher appears to be ready. One more pitch signals the home plate umpire Daniel Jimenez. Infield warm-ups commence. And we do have defensive substitution here. It's Joe Pace, the defensive maestro this season for Michigan, coming in to replace Christian Bullock in right field.
A little bit of an interesting choice right there. Of course, Joe Pace is the better defensive sub, but Christian Bullock's outfield defense really has been stellar so far this series and really this whole season. Now, of course, Engelman and Wogu have also been very good in center and left also, so you just have to pick one to put Joe Pace in, and Joe Pace strikes me as more of a corner outfielder, so suppose in that situation, I guess Bullock could be the expendable one, but nonetheless, the substitution has been made.
So here's the matchup to watch. Bucher and Spillane to start off this ninth inning. Breaking ball starts off Spillane in there for a strike. Didn't look like he was expecting that at all to start the at-bat. Bucher works out of the windup. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball just misses. Maybe a bit low, maybe a bit inside. Couldn't quite tell, but the count's 1-1. Bucher holds the glove out in front of him and in front of his face when he winds up. Very compact delivery. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball bounced towards the middle. Blomgren's going to barehand near second base and fire to first to record the out. What a play by the freshman Blomgren for out number one here, and a big out number one to get Spillane off the base paths.
And I thought Spillane was going to be able to beat that out, but because it looked like Thomas wasn't really going to go for it, I didn't expect Blomgren to come all the way over in that amount of time. Really, at this point, every defensive play he makes seems to get is better than the last.
Michael Berdar play was a graduate assistant with Michigan now. Barehanded over the middle. Saw him make that play plenty of times on this Ray Fisher Stadium turf. Blomgren has done it several times this year as well, picking up rather where Berdar left off. First pitch to Massey's a breaking ball that misses low and away for a ball 1-0. Lefty against lefty. Bucher trying for that breaking ball again, but misses low and away again. 2-0.
Let's attack, baby. You got this, Will.
Salter gives the sign. Wind up in the 2-0 pitch. Fastball hit high in the air towards right center field. Pace and Engelman both giving chase. It's Engelman will call him off near the track in right center for out number 2. So Bucher seemingly gotten through the toughest part of this Illinois order. It'll be Michael Mahalik now as Illinois' last chance.
Yeah, Michael Mahalik, the only Illini player to not get a hit yesterday in the 10-4 thrashing of the Wolverines. But now he's up, and obviously he does not want to be the last out here. And the Ray Fisher Stadium crowd getting on their feet here for Will Bucher to try and get this last out.
Lefty against righty. Bucher against Mahalik. Fastball, strike one. Michigan looking to close off the home schedule with a win. 2 strikes away is Bucher from sealing the deal with save number 5 on the season for him. Michigan dugout all on the top step. 0-1 pitch. Fastball just missed low for ball 1.
Fans do not like that call there, and to me, I must admit my view is not great, but looking this on replay, that is a little bit low.
Bucher takes a deep breath. It is 1-1 pitch. Well outside. Salter stabs at it. Counts 2-1. Mahalik wide open stance in that right-handed batter's box. Needs to focus on getting on base here, because the tying run for Illinois is still in the on-deck circle, with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Bucher's windup. 2-1 pitch. Fastball off the plate away, ball 3.
Here we go, Big Will. Come right at it, kid.
Mahalik will take his walks. Doesn't chase too often. He's ahead in the count here, 3-1. Not a big power threat, though, so wouldn't be surprised to see Tribuker challenge him. 3-1 fastball. Called strike 3.
Ooh,
Called strike 2, rather.
Mahalik looked like he was ready to walk down to the rock down the first base line. I think he thought that was a little bit outside, too. Here's the replay just on the outside corner of the zone.
Crowd on their feet here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The 3-2 pitch. Just getting a piece of it there and tapping it back. Behind the plate is Mahalik. We'll try it again at 3-2.
Hey, here we go, Big Will. You got this, baby. Keep attacking.
Michigan dugout clapping along with the fans now. Let's see. Another 3-2 from Tribuker. Bounced towards third. Whiffing on the play is Kerr, but making a play in the hole is Blomgren. He tries to fire to first, but the 2-hop throw is not in time. And Mahalik reaches base, brings the tying run to the plate for the Illini after that infield single.
It's a little bit unfortunate there. Jimmy Kerr thought he was going to get it. Looked like bounced right out of his glove. Blomgren was there providing cover behind him. But even at that distance, looked like even Blomgren couldn't cut Mahalik down. Mahalik, a designated hitter, not exactly known for his speed, but Blomgren looked almost like he threw that one into the ground.
Now pinch running for Illinois at first base, number 23, Tyler Engel.
As you may have just heard, pinch runner for Illinois over at first base is Tyler Engel. Get a little more speed on the base paths. Try to avoid a force out at second, perhaps, as the tying runs at the plate in the form of a dangerous hitter, Doran Turchin. First pitch to him is a fastball that misses just off the plate away, 1-0. Turchin 0 for 3 in the ball game today, but plenty of pop. He is tied for second on the Illinois roster with 9 home runs. Breaking ball on 1-0 from Tribuker misses low, and he's in danger now. He's falling behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, this is the story of the closer position, isn't it? Good pitchers, good stuff. Get a couple outs early, and now they're making me a little nervous.
2-0 pitch. Fastball challenged him, and Turchin put a good swing on it, but fouled it right back to the screen behind home plate. 2-1 the count. Tribuker relies on that fastball curveball combo that so many relievers do. He's got a good hook, but he's down the count 2-1 here. Tries to fire a fastball on the inside corner, but looked like it missed low. So it counts 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count for Doran Turchin. If he puts a good swing on it, we could have ourselves a tie ball game. The 3-1 pitch, not even close as it bounces well in front of the plate for ball 4. So now the tying run on base, the go-ahead run at the plate. And it's Jack Yalowitz.
Yes, Yalowitz, a regular player in this lineup, only hitting .209 on the season. He does have 3 home runs, however, and 8 doubles.
Does have some extra base pop. He puts one in the gap. It should tie the game. Turchin is pretty quick out there at first base. Tribuker does have the lefty-lefty matchup, though. Comes set with the glove out in front of his chest and fires a breaking ball, strike 1. Salter double checking in the dugout what exactly they're going to do in this at bat to attack Yalowitz. Gives the sign. Tribuker comes set, doesn't even check the runners. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball tapped off to the left side, barely getting a piece. That one was Yalowitz. And now Illinois again down to their final strike.
And the crowd here at Ray Fisher Stadium getting on their feet again, making lots of noise.
After 2 straight breaking balls to begin the at-bat, we'll see what Tribuker goes to here on 0-2. He likes what he sees from Salter. He's ready. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball spiked and gets past Salter. Goes all the way back to the backstop, and the runners advance. The tying run now in scoring position for Illinois.
Well, I'm not really sure what that was here on replay. Almost looks like a fastball that just got away from him, bounced in the dirt over Salter's head. Well, turf dirt, but...
Bad news for the Wolverines, that tying run in scoring position. The good news, Illinois still down to their final strike with the count 1-2. And Tribuker seems to have Yalowitz on the ropes with his breaking ball. If he can give one more good one, this one should be over. He gives him one there, and it's grounded towards first. Sliding stop by Franklin. He's going to try to take it to the bag himself, but he's not going to get there in time. Runner tries to score from home. He is safe. Illinois has tied the game on an infield single to first base.
Oh, the fans don't like that.
Head coach Eric Backish doesn't like that either. He's come out to argue with home plate umpire Daniel Jimenez. He thinks that Salter got that tag down in time on Turchin. Turchin booking it all the way from second base, didn't even hesitate. Franklin took a second to realize that, first of all, he wasn't going to be able to beat Yalowitz to first base. Tribuker wasn't going to be able to get there in time, and that the runner of Turchin was going home. By the time he realized it and fired home, it was too late. We're all tied up at 4.
Well, I must say I put that one a little bit on Will Tribuker. He didn't really really run over to first base until Franklin got his glove on it. If Tribuker's there, then this game is over. But
so a much different situation now. Blown save, bunt attempt by Grant Vanskoy, steal attempt there by Yalowitz. He's in there safely at second ahead of the tag. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position for Illinois. This game has taken quite a turn here over the last few batters. After getting through the most dangerous part of the Illinois order in Spillane and Massey, Tribuker not been able to retire Mahalik, Turchin, or Yalowitz. And with Vanskoy at the bat, he did square on the bunt, but that pitch missed, so the count's 1-0 on him. Breaking ball on 1-0 is in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Vanskoy 0 for 2 in the ball game. He has walked and scored the very first run of the game for Illinois. Has since grounded out twice. Tribuker comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Called strike 2. Can feel the mood has really changed here at Ray Fisher. Fans a little bit more anxious now. As the runs column on the scoreboard is all evened up. Illinois scored 2 in the 9th on an infield single to tie this ball game. 1-2 pitch from Tribuker. Breaking ball doesn't break, stays way outside.
I can understand the mood shift. Of course, a fair amount of frustration. It's twice now that Will Tribuker has been down to the last strike, and the Illini hitters have continued to battle, and they've managed to leg out a pair of infield singles off of that. And the last one, a 2 RBI infield single, that doesn't happen a lot at all.
Yeah, the likes of which you normally only see from Michigan, where they do their double squeeze and score 2 runs. A bit of a taste of their own medicine there with some excellent base running from Turchin. A 2-2 pitch from Tribuker, bounces in the dirt and runs the count full, 3-2.
And now here we are again. Again, it's difficulty making that final strike. It's something now he finds himself out ahead in the count with one or no balls and 2 strikes, and now the count has been worked full.
Tribuker comes set for a payoff pitch now to Vanskoy. He's ahead of it is Vanskoy and fouls it down the left field line. We'll try another 3-2 pitch. Last time Vanskoy worked a full count and fouled off a couple pitches. He worked a walk back in the 3rd. Tribuker trying to allow the 4th straight runner to reach base here in the 9th inning. Has already surrendered the lead and registers a blown save. Does not want to let that go-ahead run score from second. He will, though, walk Vanskoy on a pitch that bounces in the dirt for ball 4.
Yeah, that's more frustration. I think something that some of the fans here also realize is that he got through Spillane and Massey, the 2 strongest hitters in this Illini lineup, with no real trouble. But just like Dragani and Renard yesterday, he's fallen victim to the back half of this lineup.
Pitching coach Chris Fetter makes his way out to the mound to talk with Tribuker. A much-needed talk. Tribuker does not look comfortable on there on the mound at all. Very frustrated out there, and understandably so. Has to retire one more batter to get out of this inning and give Michigan a chance to win it in the bottom half of this ninth. In the bottom half of the ninth, it will be near the bottom of the Michigan order. Harrison Salter, the 8-hitter, Jack Blomgren, the 9-hitter, and then back to the top for Okeo Thomas. David Cran takes his spot in the right-handed batter's box. Had to have a solid day at the plate today and takes the first pitch from Tri Bucher low for ball one. Tri Bucher's release point just really off right now, firing a lot of pitches low. Can't quite rein it in. And notable that wild pitch also that allowed Turchin to advance the scoring position and eventually led to that tying run coming across the score on the infield single. Also a pitch that was spiked in the dirt from Tri Bucher. 1-0 pitch now to Cran, breaking ball strike. That breaking ball has been able to be commanded by Tri Bucher. It's really the fastball it's gotten away from here in this inning. Got to be careful about leaving that one up, though. Cran has shown he does have a little pop in the bat. He had a solo home run to right field back in the 5th inning in this one. 1-1 pitch. Fastball again, spikes it in the dirt. Counts 2-1. Tri Bucher already at 32 pitches in this inning. Has not gone the way he or the Wolverines would have liked. Pitch number 33 is on its way, and it's a fastball strike on the outside corner.
There you go. It's the first fastball he's thrown for a strike in a while. So hopefully take a little bit of solace in that, and it's in the same situation he's been in, I think, really 4 of the last 5 batters, and that is one more pitch and you're done.
It is correct. 4 out of the last 5 have had 2 strikes on him. He hasn't been able to retire any of them. See what he does here on 2-2. Here it comes. Fastball. Tardy on the swing was Cran, perhaps looking for that big breaking ball. But Cran was able to get a piece of it and foul it off to the right side. Not a play. Tri Bucher working off to the third base side of the rubber against the right-handed hitting Cran. Cran, 6 foot, 180 out of Chicago, Illinois. Watches a call, strike 3 on the inside corner, and Tri Bucher slaps his glove. Combination of disappointment and frustration as he walks off the mound. But Illinois tacks on 2 runs here in the 9th to tie things up on an infield single by Jack Yalowitz. And we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Michigan with a chance to win this one, all knotted up at 4. You are listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Well, that's a very frustrating inning right there, of course. Come in with a 2-run lead, get your closer out there who's had a strong year all season, but unfortunately lost it all on a 2 RBI infield single that personally I think may have been on Tri Bucher for not getting over quick enough to first cover. Of course, it's easy for me to say here up in the booth, but it's very unfortunate there. If you can think about what could have been if that ball doesn't bounce out of, if Mihalik's ground ball doesn't bounce out of Kerr's glove, this game is probably over. If Franklin fires to home plate a second earlier, then this game is over. And if perhaps maybe even if Daniel Jimenez is in a different position to see that ball, maybe it's maybe this game is over. Now the throw to home plate, honestly, looking at it again, I think it's a little bit too close to call either way. So I don't think really anybody really has an argument that is that strong about that call.
Well, the trick here for Michigan is to not let all those things creep into their minds. Go out there and attack a very tough pitcher in Joey Gerber. He's been lights out for Illinois. He's already struck out one of the two batters he faced in 3 pitches, and Christian Bullock. And retired Jimmy Kerr relatively quickly and easily as well on just 2 pitches. Harrison Salter got the first look at him here in the 9th. Just about putting balls in play if you could touch Gerber at this point and try not to chase. But a first pitch fastball for a strike against Salter rather starts things off here in the 9th inning.
Well, the Wolverines are a little unfortunate here with the lineup positioning. Salter, Blomgren, and Thomas are combined 0 for 8 with Blomgren getting hit by a pitch, being the only time between the 3 of them. Excuse me, that's not true. Mikhail Thomas reached on a catcher's interference.
The point still stands, though, as the 0-1 pitch missed outside and the 1-1 pitch misses inside, so it's 2-1.
These three batters have yet to get a hit between them.
Be especially tough against the fireballer Gerber. Gerber always works from the stretch. 2-1 pitch. Grounded well late on the swing, right to Spillane. He takes it to the bag without any problems. 3 unassisted for the first out in the bottom of the 9th. It looked like Salter almost bailing out on the swing. It was extremely late. Got what looked to be the barrel on it, hit it hard, but he was so late on it and could really not put any sort of authority, really just using Gerber's power to deflect that one right at the first baseman, Spillane. Jack Blomgren now steps to the plate and takes a big hack at the first pitch he sees from Gerber. Hits it off the hands, it looks like, and off to the right side for a foul ball, 0-1. Blomgren 0 for 2, hit by pitch, a run scored. Tough task for the freshman. He watches the 0-1 pitch from Gerber catch the outside corner. It's 0-2. When Gerber's up 0-2, pretty much a death knell for whoever's at the plate, regardless of class. He comes set, 0-2 pitch. Fires a fastball, it misses high and away. It's 1-2. As you mentioned, Gerber, a funky delivery. Really seems like he's leaning back on that back right leg. Stretches that left leg out and then comes firing over as Blomgren hits one high in the air towards the right side, drifting near the right field corner. And making the grab in foul territory is Yalowitz for out number 2. So 2 gone here in the bottom of the 9th now. K.O. Thomas comes up to the plate, trying to get anything started, trying to push across the run and end this thing at 9 if he can for Michigan.
K.O. Thomas yet to hit a home run on the season. However, he does have 10 doubles, and 28 walks. So it's certainly not unreasonable to say that he can get on base.
Even in a down year, he does still get on base, still takes plenty of walks, doesn't strike out much. 28 walks, just 19 strikeouts. Takes the first pitch from Gerber low for ball 1. And then swings and hits a pop fly foul out of play to the right side for strike 1.
Nearly hit a Big Ten Network cameraman.
Be careful out there. That was skied up, maybe gotten lost a bit in these gray, cloudy skies. K.O. Thomas dances out of the way of that 1-1 pitch. That's where you get some ribs from the dugout. Take one for the team.
Nearly got him right across the block M there on the chest.
That one definitely would have stung. As it stands, though, he got out of the way, and the count's 2-1.
Well, the way Gerber's delivering the ball, that might have broken a rib.
Again, coming in tight, but missing off the plate inside was Gerber, and it's 3-1 out of K.O. Thomas now. Gerber does have some tail on that. He can put some tail on that fastball arm side for the righty. He hits the outside corner with the 3-1 fastball to run the count full. No action in the Illinois bullpen. It's all Gerber here. How long he'll be trusted, we have yet to see. He's in a little bit of a battle now with the K.O. Thomas as Thomas barely gets a piece of that fastball inside and tips it back to the screen for Another 3-2 pitch to be upcoming. Three-two again. Thomas lines one towards left, but it's going to hang up long enough for Turchin to run in a few steps and make the play. Hard hit ball, but nothing to show for it for K.O. Thomas. And we're through 9 innings of play here. We're headed to extras between Michigan and Illinois, all knotted up at 4 runs apiece on WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball.
Yes, and after that blown save by Will Tribuker, his day is done. An unfortunate close at Ray Fisher Stadium for him. And looks like the new pitcher is in and warming up the mound. Looks like
Jace Van Senna.
Jace Van Senna, the senior from Millbury, Ohio, in his last home game here at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yeah, this will be his 12th appearance of the season. 5 of his appearances so far have been starts. He is 2-3 with a 5.19 ERA. He's pitched in 26 innings exactly, struck out 20, walked 7. The batters hit .324 against him, so Van Senna. The MO for him is going to be avoid hard contact, which is going to be tough to do against this Illinois lineup, especially because he gets the top of the Illinois order with Taylor, Troike, and Spillane due up here in the top of the 10th inning. If we happen to get through this 10th inning without a decision being reached, I might have to go run over and get myself another scorecard from our press room over here. Only room for 10 on this scorecard. Besides, I wasn't ready to leave this place anyway, so.
Your career has endured for at least another inning.
I said before, and it's not quite impartial, but it would be nice to go out on a nice high note. Wouldn't mind calling a walk-off here to end things. Tough task, though, is just looking at the pitcher and batter matchups. Illinois definitely seems to have the advantage, especially here in the 10th, where you do have the top of the Illinois order, and then without any action going on down the Illinois bullpen, you have to assume Joey Gerber is going to come back out for the bottom of the 10th as well.
That's maybe true. However, Gerber is going to face the strong part of the Wolverines lineup, Clemente, Engelman, and Franklin.
So we start the 10th here with the matchup between Jace Van Senna and Zach Taylor. Van Senna fires a fastball to start things off right down the pipe for strike 1. Senna works out of the windup, puts the glove right in front of his face when he gets the sign, and winds up and fires a 0-1 pitch low for a ball. Van Senna's windup, he starts with the glove up near the mouth, almost in front of the eyes, brings all the way down to the belt, back up to the shoulders, and then fires. He goes through the motions here in the 1-1 pitch. Squaring around a bunt was Taylor, but he pulled back in time as that one missed high and away. 2-1.
Emphasis may be a bit generous and influenced by bias, but his windup delivery actually a little bit complex. Without he's got a little bit of wrist action at the end, but aside from that, it doesn't look all that dissimilar to Justin Verlander.
2-1 fastball call, strike 2. Not unpopular to see a lot of guys model their deliveries after successful major league pitchers. You know, there's guys like Jake Arrieta who have really led to a forefront of minimalizing motion in their windups. 2-2 pitch, said breaking ball. It looked like that missed low and away for ball 3.
Honestly, I'm a little surprised that after the 2007 and 2008 season, there wasn't a wave of young starting pitchers trying to pitch like Tim Lincecum.
Bringing that arm all the way back. Say 3-2 pitch. Grounded in the hole short. Diving stab by Blomgren. He deflects it near the line. Wogu chases it down, going halfway almost to second was Taylor before being scurrying back actually over to first base.
Well,
Taylor, he's got a leadoff single here in the 10th.
Taylor looked like he was ready for it. Almost looked like his heels clicked together right there running to second, or he was just trying to hold up. And
yeah, he almost tripped. Could have been dangerous for him and would have been a blessing in disguise. Not even a blessing in disguise, a blessing for the Wolverines. It is Ben Troike now stepping up to the plate, the shortstop for Illinois. He's 1 for 4 on the day with an RBI. Drove in Illinois' first run of the game all the way back in the 3rd inning of this one. Has not reached base other than that. Aggressive lead from Taylor over at first. Not going on the pitches. Bunt by Troike is right back to the mound. Vancena Fields throws to Thomas covering first for out number 1.
That's probably a smart move right there. They want Brent Spillane, their best hitter, up there. If Spillane really can get it into the outfield now with Zach Taylor, good base runner in scoring position, really. What if Spillane could just get it past the infield and they're in position to score?
The Wolverine outfield now in a tough spot as Engelman's waiting for word down from the Michigan dugout where they want to play. They're not even going to bother pitching to Spillane right here as the intentional walk is on. 4 pitches will be fired off the plate away as Salter signals with the arm out. Pitch is coming awfully close to the plate, though.
One of those moments where you see in Little League where an intentional walk floats inside and the batter knocks it out of the park.
Hey, old Miguel Cabrera. Spillane's he's standing up there like if one comes just a little bit closer, he's willing to take a hack at it. I don't fault him at all for a hitter of his stature. All 4 missed appropriately too high and a little bit too far outside for Spillane to reach, so he takes his base.
A little bit concerning. Those pitches were awfully close as far as intentional walks were concerned. If I'm trying to intentionally walk a batter, especially if it's Spillane, and obviously college baseball, not like the major leagues where you can just say we're going to walk him and he goes to base. I mean, I'd stand over by over on the edge of the turf, stand out on the grass,
especially with a guy like Spillane up there. Just toss it way over there.
You know, Spillane's 6'5", got long arms. He's got some reach.
So Michigan will take their chances rather with Michael Massey, and they set up the force out with runners on first and second now. 1 gone in the inning. First pitch to Massey looks to be a slider there from Vancena. Misses low, ball 1. Vancena, when he works out of the stretch, puts his hands basically on his hips while he gets the sign, and it comes set right about the shoulder level. 1-1 pitch hit high in the air towards deep center field. Ranging back is Engelman going back near the track, near the wall, off the wall on 1 hop. Engelman bare hands, fires in. Trying to score now is Taylor from second. The relay throw home in time. They got him on the relay throw. Engelman to Blomgren to Salter at the plate. What a play by all 3. Everything needed to go perfectly, and they did it.
Now, that was absolutely fantastic. That ball hung up in the air a long time. I thought, and at first it looked like it was going to be a long fly ball to Engelman, but went right off the wall. Excellent job by him to play it and flew it all the way to Blomgren. Blomgren, of course, we've talked about his arm all game. Turns around, fires it straight to home, and it wasn't like in the 9th inning. There wasn't even a discussion. Taylor was about halfway there when Harrison Salter caught that ball, and Taylor tried to move out of the way, but Salter was able to get him, and that could be the game.
We got a pinch hitter now coming up for Illinois. Runners on first and second still, as Spillane didn't go any farther than second base. A long single from Michael Massey. And the pinch hitter coming up to the plate is Casey Dodge. Right-handed hitter taking over in the DH spot after Michael Mahalik was pinch run for last inning. First pitch from Vancena is a strike to Dodge. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed batter. Vancena pitching with a bit more confidence now. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball, strike 2. And just like that, that big play is once again shifted momentum here at Ray Fisher after the first 2 out of the first 3 batters reached base. And we'll talk about that play more in this half inning. But just absolutely fantastic job all the way around. Right now, Vancena's got no 2-pitch to throw. He does. It's grounded near the hole. Blomgren backhands that shortstop sliding play. Isn't going to be able to make a throw, but keeps it on the infield and keeps a run from scoring. But that loads the bases up for Doran Turchin.
Well, Blomgren's put in so many tough positions in that hole. Comes in there, tries to slide it. Not really in a position conducive to turning around and firing over to first. Looked like he was almost going to try and get Spillane out at third, but slipped while coming up, and that was the end of that.
Dangerous situation here with Doran Turchin at the plate. He's 0 for 3 today, but walked and scored the tying run just last inning in the 9th. A dangerous balance. Turchin can put a good swing on the ball. He is a good hitter. As we get another pinch runner for Illinois over there at first base. Coming into pinch run will be Ryan Half, junior infielder. I've run out of roster spots for that part in the lineup. First pitch hitter Turchin swung on and missed for strike one. Vancena's really got that slider, it looks like, working well in this inning. Can't necessarily go to it every single pitch, but definitely one that has him effective enough to be competitive here. 0-1 pitch. Hit high in the air towards center field. Engelman will run in a bit, camp under it, and make the play for out number 3. Jace Vancena tight ropes out of danger there, thanks in part to an absolutely fantastic relay to cut down the go-ahead run at the plate. And we'll head to the bottom of the 10th, still knotted up. Illinois 4, Michigan 4 on the official student radio broadcast for Michigan baseball here on WCBN Sports.
Well, that was nervy, but they got the job done, and once again, they're in the same position they were in the 9th inning, and that is in a position to win this game in the bottom.
It will have the 2, 3, 4 hitters, Clementi, Engelman, and Franklin coming up to the plate. But let's just go back one more second and talk about that relay throw, or that relay there to cut down the go-ahead run. It was, as you mentioned, a really high hit fly ball. The runners had to wait up to see if they were going to be able to go, if Engelman was going to catch that ball and they'd either be tagging or if it got over his head to the wall. It one-hopped the wall. Engelman, without even breaking a stride, he was sprinting out near the wall, barehanded that ball right off the wall, fired into Blomgren, who made a perfect relay one-hopper to Dominic Clementi, catcher Harrison Salter, who fielded it on the short hop, got it right about his chest protector, was able to keep it in the glove in time, then to tag out the runner going home, Zach Taylor, who, as mentioned, isn't a slow guy at all.
Well, perhaps the most important part there is Engelman running back, looking over the wall, excellent awareness by him, knows where he was, very easily could have just been while he's running and looking back for the ball, very easily could have just crashed into the wall right there, but excellent, played that ball off the wall perfectly. We've seen, it's extremely hard to track where you are while running back and looking back for the ball. Fly balls over your head are extremely dangerous for outfielders, just as far as fielding the ball and safety. Perhaps, Austin, you remember perhaps the one bad moment of the Cubs' 2016 World Series title, second series of the season. Kyle Schwarber and Dexter Fowler colliding in Arizona over the fly ball over Fowler's head. Schwarber was, of course, lost for the season on a similar situation like that at Chase Field.
I do unfortunately remember that, as Dominic Clementi steps up to the plate and takes strike one.
Did I dredge up some bad memories?
We thought he was lost for the season. I think he made up for it in the World Series. As the 0-1 pitch misses low and away for ball one. It was devastating at the time. And then happy ending.
And then the Cubs won the whole thing.
The 1-1 pitch misses low and away for a ball 2-1 now. Michigan hoping for the same thing here. A bit of a setback, but a happy ending in this one to finish off senior day. Clementi's ahead in the count 2-1 against Joey Gerber. Now he's ahead in the count 3-1. Clementi does have a great batting eye. More walks than strikeouts on the season and an even 500 in the on-base percentage department. 3-1 pitch. High and away for ball 4. Leadoff runners on here in the 10th.
I think one thing to study here is that, well, yes, Joey Gerber is a fantastic pitcher. The Wolverines, with their first 3, Clementi, Engelman, and Franklin, have the platoon advantage on 2 batters, being Clementi and Franklin both being lefties.
We'll see no moves being made here by head coach Eric Bakich. Clementi not the fleetest of foot, not slow, but A little surprised not to see him try to go with a faster runner off the bench if he has one available.
I don't know if he really has one,
That's
though.
also true. A lot of pitchers on the roster. Just looking through. Joe Pace, one of the other position players already in the game. Regardless, so Jonathan Ingman's at the plate, runner on first here in the bottom of the 10th. He takes the first pitch low and in for a ball, 1-0. Joey Gerber struggling with his command a little bit now. Righty Gerber versus the righty Engelman. Inside again as Engelman has to shimmy out of the way of that one, and it's 2-0.
And Eric Bakich using Clemente as aggressively. Now, granted, Gerber doesn't seem too particularly concerned, and I don't think he has any reason to, but there's a fake steal attempt there by Clemente.
Mound visit here between Cran and Gerber, trying to settle down the big 6'4" right-hander. 6'4", 215. Intimidating presence on the mound. Very similar to Jackson Lamb, Michigan's closer from the last couple seasons. And that he has that very crouched down delivery and flings that arm around and really brings the heat. 2-0 pitch now. Call to strike number 1. Engelman's 2 for 4 on the day with a couple singles to his name. He was cut down on fielder's choice and double play ball in each of those, so hasn't advanced past first. 2-1. Bounces in the dirt. It's 3-1. A little bit of stirring going on in the Illinois bullpen, just a tad. No one actually warming up yet. As of right now, it's all Gerber, even with him now seemingly struggling with his command a bit. Already pitched an inning and 2/3. A 3-1 pitch. Big swing there from Engelman. He gets a piece and fouls it back to the screen. It's 3-2.
I think that may have been low and inside a little bit. I think Engelman probably wants that one back.
That was right in Engelman's wheelhouse, though. He likes to take those and deposit those over the left field wall. Looked like it was probably a strike based on the replay. As it stands, he has a battle cut out for him. 3-2. Clemente over on first. Taking a relatively short lead. And a call to strike 3 on the inside corner. Engelman not happy. Not sure if he's not happy with himself or not happy with the call. But he is very upset walking back to that first base dugout now and turning things over to Jesse Franklin.
Here on replay, yeah, that looks inside.
It was like a breaking ball that never quite made its way back to that inside corner.
But
it was called strike 3 regardless, though.
But here's all along the watchtower again as Jesse Franklin comes up.
Slow day for Franklin, 0 for 4, but
here's his chance.
Quite the way to end things. Quite the way to end the season if a freshman could, or the home season at least, freshman could find a way to end this one. He takes a real big swing there at the first pitch from Gerber and fouls it off the glove of Cran behind home plate. It's 0-1. Looked like he got a challenge fastball to start things off. He did, right in the wheelhouse, and just couldn't quite get around on it. Fans getting into it here. Clapping along. And a called strike 2. Looked like a breaking ball of some sort there from Gerber. Had some good movement, breaking in towards Franklin. Rather, it was just a running fastball upon further review. Anyway, 0-2 on Franklin. He caught up to the fastball a bit and fouled it straight back over our heads and out of play. So the count's still 0-2 on the freshman Franklin. Now some catch going on down in the Illinois bullpen. Probably more just because of the pitch count, not because of any damage that, or rather any trouble that Gerber's in. Breaking ball. Bounces in the dirt. Check swing. Jesse Franklin says it hit him. Home plate umpire Danny Jimenez saying it didn't. We haven't seen. Oh, look, I don't know. Do you see anything there, Nick?
Let me. Hopefully they show it on replay here up in the booth.
The umpires will discuss.
At first look, I don't think it hit him. May have bounced off his foot, though.
The umpires discussing to see if any of them saw the ball bounce off a foot or not. It did seem to take a little bit of a funky spin once it hit the ground, or at least we thought it hit the ground.
All right, here it is.
Get another look at it.
Dips low.
Ooh,
That's his foot.
It does look like it ticks off the foot.
That's the
We'll
foot.
see if anybody saw it. Nope, the umpires ruled that they didn't see anything. It did not hit him. So it'll just go down as a ball, a check swing. And the count will be 1-2. That would have been huge for the Wolverines to get the winning run in scoring position and reset the count after Jesse Franklin's behind.
And here, looking at it, I'm looking at it again here. Buckles, yeah, that's right off where the foot meets the ankle, but
big call there. Doesn't go the Wolverines' way, and
there's no
Franklin's got a battle. Instead, he pops one up to the left side. Troike calling off the third baseman, Van Scoy. He makes the play in shallow left for out number 2.
Franklin doesn't look happy. I can understand that. He did. I've determined. Yeah, he probably did. He did get hit. However, there's no video rule in baseball. The umpires do their best here, so there's not a whole lot to be done there.
He's just a freshman. He'll learn to sell out a little bit more. It skips across the foot, start hopping around. We'll turn it over now to Jordan Wogu, though, who is 2 for 3 with a long home run and a sharp single back up the middle. Also reached on a hit by pitch. He's gotten on base 3 times today, scored a run, driven in one. And he's a little bit slow on the fastball from Gerber, but still gets a good piece of it, fouling it straight back. And the count's 0-1. There's a guy you want at the plate right now, just based on this game. I think it's Jordan Wogu if you're Michigan. 0-1 pitch. Swung on and line towards left field. It's going to get in there in front of Turchin for a base hit. Runners on first and second now with 2 gone. Joe Pace coming up to plate.
Yeah, that's a good hit by Jordan Wogu. If you're Coach Baggage, you're maybe feeling a little bit unsatisfied because Joe Pace is up. Certainly not the strongest hitter, purely a defensive substitute, really the vast majority of the season. I don't believe he's even got 10 at-bats on the whole season. But so he would have hoped for a double in the gap to end this game. But here comes Joe Pace, and Pace now has the winning run in scoring position and the opportunity to win this game.
Joe Pace hit just his 7th at-bat of the year. He's 1 for 6. That one hit was a double. He can deliver that again. They'll send the fans home happy here at Ray Fisher Stadium. He also walked, struck out 3 times in limited action. His first look in the ballgame today. Watches a fastball strike. Trying to time up Gerber here, find a gap, and end this ballgame. It's the Narbaldy defensive replacement, Joe Pace. Redshirt sophomore from Valley Village, California, swings and misses at a high fastball. He's down 0-2. Gerber on the verge of working out of this one, finishing his 2nd full inning to go along with 2/3 of an inning. He came in and pitched in the 8th. Been critical to Illinois getting back into this ballgame and giving them a chance to win it. And a swing and a miss late on the fastball was Pace for strike 3. That is the 3rd strikeout of the outing for Joey Gerber. And he avoids giving up that winning run here in the 10th to the Wolverines. So we're through 10. Why not go for 11? The score still not up at 4 between Michigan and Illinois on WCBN sports coverage of Michigan baseball. And I got to go run myself, get a new scorecard.
Yep, as Jace Vancina comes out for his 2nd inning of work to pitch this 11th inning here. Once again, another decent opportunity left on the board right there for the Wolverines. Jordan Wogu putting a single in right field, put him on first, and Dominic Clementi on second with 2 outs, but unfortunately Joe Pace strikes out in 3 pitches, not able to follow through with that, but now as the Wolverines defense takes the field again, no defensive changes to speak of. The bottom of the Illini order is up. Yalowitz, Van Scoy, and Cran. The three, a combined 2 for 9, not including free bases, of course, with Yalowitz having one hit and Cran having another. Of course, that one hit being the home run to right field. And Austin has returned with a new scorecard.
Got to reset here. I don't know if I'm going to even really bother writing all the entire lineups and just try to continue as we've reached into the 11th inning now. And what has quickly become a marathon of a game here between Illinois and Michigan. A brief recap if you're just joining us here in extra innings. Michigan hopped out to a 3-0 lead all the way back in the second. Illinois since chipped away a couple times, make it 3-2. Michigan extend that 4-2 as the leadoff hitter here, Yalowitz, grounds over to Thomas at second base rather, and he records the first out of the inning here in inning number 11.
It's actually pretty amusing when you think about it. You say it's turning into a marathon game, and yes, it's 11 innings, but game right now is not even 3 hours and 10 minutes.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we just about hitting that mark. It's been quick, or at least the pace has been quick. Jace Vancena winds and fires to Grant Van Scoy, a first pitch ball just low. Van Scoy 0 for 2 in this one. Does have himself a couple walks and a run scored. He takes a 1-0 pitch for a strike. 1-1. Van Scoy, the third baseman, had himself that big day yesterday. 5 runs batted in. And he swings and misses here at the 1-1 pitch. He's down on the count 1-2. After Van Scoy is the catcher David Cran to round out the Illinois order here. Bottom third. Jace Vancena trying to get through this. Give his team a chance to win it in the bottom of the 11th this time. Foul ball popped to the right side out of play. Still 1-2. Vancena had a tightrope out of a bit of danger back there in the 10th. Gave up a leadoff single after a sacrifice bunt and intentional walk. A great relay throw cut down the winning run at home plate. And Vancena was able to work out of danger from there. 1-2 pitch is a breaking ball that misses away. It's 2-2. Vancena a good fastball slider combo. That's how he's made his living during his time in Ann Arbor. The senior delivers. Hit high and deep towards left center field. Going back at the track is Wogu. He will have room, though, in front of the track to make the play off the bat of Van Scoy. That one looked like it could be a lot more trouble. But some dense air here is a bit of fog, a bit of mist starting to drift over Ray Fisher Stadium. Held that ball up, and Wogu was able to make the play for out number 2. That'll bring up David Cran. 1 for 3 in the ball game with a home run. Also has a walk, a strikeout on the day. His last at bat was going down looking to end the 9th as he takes the first pitch from Vancena for a strike 0-1. Righty against righty. The windup from Vancena. Right off the elbow pad of Cran, he puts the runner on base. And we'll go back up to the top of the Illinois order with Zach Taylor. Taylor, the first batter to face Vancena twice now in this ballgame. Coming into this at-bat, 1 for 4 with a sacrifice bunt to his name. His one was against Vancena to lead off the 10th inning with a single. Vancena set now the first pitch of the at-bat to Taylor. Off the plate away, 1-0. Vancena hands on the hips, takes a glance over at Cran at first before coming set. Now the 1-0 pitch. Lined over a leaping Blomgren into left field for a base hit. Taylor seeing Vancena pretty well there. Lines that single into left, and there's 2 runners on with 2 gone here in the 11th inning for Illinois.
Good defensive play right there by Jordan Wogu in left field, holding Cran at second base.
Now getting to the highly dangerous part of the Illinois order, Ben Troike coming up to the plate. Runner in scoring position, chance to give Illinois the lead. Troike 1 for 4, RBI single back in the 3rd. First pitch to him, scalded on the ground, but just foul wide of the third base bag. Fans here at Ray Fisher, not many people have left. Maybe a few around the 9th inning, but a lot of fans sticking around through at least into the 11th of this one. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Went off speed and had Troike way out in front of that. It counts 0-2 now. Scoreboard's a little off. It says 1-2 out there. It is 0-2. Foul ball, swing and a miss against Troike so far in this at-bat. Vancena looking to get through this top of the 11th. Staring in for a nice long time. Gets his sign from Salter. 1-2 pitch.
Now it's 1-2.
Tried the breaking ball. Now it is 1-2. That one missed low.
Oh, they've added a second one.
Just compounding the errors out there on the scoreboard. Don't think they ever reset it after Zach Taylor's at bat, and that's where the confusion comes from. Count is 1-2, contrary to the scoreboard here at Ray Fisher Stadium. 1-2 pitch. Off the hands and fouled back over the screen.
Optimally, Vancena would strike Troike out here too, before any confusion is caused by the scoreboard.
Umpired on the field, indeed signaling 1-2. See if anybody controlling the scoreboard caught that. We're on scoreboard watch now. They did not. So 1-2 pitch from Vancena. Lined just fouled on the third base line again. Troike proving to be a tough out here.
There see the umpire waving his left hand with the 1 holding up. Looks like he sees the scoreboard too.
He is indeed. He's holding up the count and shaking that 1. Trying to get someone's attention as Salter goes out for a mound visit. No one's changed it quite yet. Daniel Jimenez behind the plate. Seemingly just kind of said, screw it, and we're just going to roll with it. I know what the count is. No one else might. Anyways, we are ready for another 1-2 pitch as Vancena gets his sign, comes set, doesn't bother checking the runners. Now looks back at Cran. 1-2. High fastball, misses, ball 2. They fixed it on our stat broadcast system here, and now they're resetting the scoreboard. Count is 2-2.
Oh,
2 outs here, 2 runners on.
Now they've messed it up on BTN.
2-2 the count. Ball was inside. I think Troike said it clipped him, but ruled by Daniel Jimenez that
Oh, it did clip him.
he didn't get out of the way, or we saw this in yesterday's game, the same call made. Don't know exactly what the call is. All I know is Troike's coming back to the box, and that counts as ball 3. So now we have a full count.
It's bizarre.
Not sure what the reasoning is. That's twice in 2 days we've seen that, though. Perhaps ruling he stuck his arm out into it or something. Anyway, the 3-2 pitch from Vancena to Troike. In on the hands, popped foul behind the plate. Salter will not be able to get back despite a diving try. And Troike stays alive again. We're still at 3-2. The runners are moving, so anything that's hit and results in anything not an out should score a run.
I think Salter was hoping to get a little bit of extra slide on that turf, which is probably still wet from the humidity.
Yeah, all the rain the last few days. There's only so much that can really drain off the field. It's done a fantastic job of draining and holding up, but I imagine still a little bit slick. Just looking out, it looks like there's areas in center field that are still a little bit glossy out there.
Yeah, we saw Jack Blomgren slip and fall fielding a ball in the ninth inning.
Either way, Salter went out and talked to Van Santa one more time, and now they're ready for a 3-2 pitch again. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Big strikeout there for Van Santa, his first strikeout of his couple innings worth of work. He once again tightropes out of danger here in the 11th, and Michigan once again will have a chance to win it in the bottom half. It's 4-4 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Last home game of the season for Michigan on WCBN Sports Broadcast and Michigan Baseball.
And the same as the 9th or 10th, the Wolverines are going into the bottom of this 11th inning with the opportunity to win the game. Jimmy Kerr up first. It's the bottom of the order again. Kerr, Salter, and Blomgren. Between them, a combined 1 for 11 with 1 hit and a hit by pitch. But of course, that isn't what you want to see. But Jimmy Kerr already has a double in this game, has the opportunity to be the hero.
The good news for Michigan, no more Joey Gerber in the game. He is out of the ball game. We'll get the new number on the new Illinois pitcher in just a second. But they do not have to face the fireball closer for Illinois any longer.
It is number 13, Ryan Schmidt.
All right, so Ryan Schmidt into the ball game. We saw him all the way back in Friday's ball game, making a second appearance. He actually closed out Friday's ball game in that win. The right-handed throwing sophomore out of Heartland, Wisconsin. The same place as Jack Bredesen and Ben Bredesen, brothers on the baseball and football teams here at Michigan, respectively. The numbers for Schmidt coming into this one. This will be his 18th appearance. He's made a couple starts in there. He's 1-1, does have a save, a 5.22 ERA. Pitched just over 29 innings. He struck out 21, walked 14. Opponents hit 243 against him, but does give up his fair share of extra base hits. 4 home runs, 6 doubles given up on the season. Those 4 home runs are good for second on the Illinois team, just behind the starting pitcher for today, Ty Weber. So Illinois turning to Schmidt here. Try to keep them alive for one more inning. Bottom of the 11th will start, as you mentioned, with Jimmy Kerr striding up to the plate for Michigan. Kerr 1 for 4 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, scored a run. Has a ground rule double to his name as well. Bookended by 2 ground outs to first. Steady crowd here. Ray Fisher Stadium wants to see one more Michigan win at Ray Fisher this season. First pitch to Kerr. Fastball misses high, ball 1. Schmidt had to come in. Didn't pitch much in Friday's game. Came in during the 9th inning when Illinois looked like they were getting into a bit of trouble. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. There is also action in the Illinois bullpen as well, so if Schmidt gets into trouble, we may see a quick hook. 1-1 pitch. Kerr hits a hard ground ball down the first base line, but foul. Spillane would have gotten there and made the play. He actually tried to barehand that one as it was bouncing in foul territory. Couldn't come up with it, but doesn't matter. As it stands, the count 1-2 on Kerr. Just trying to get on base, get something started. All the Wolverines need is 1 run here in this tie ball game in the bottom of the 11th. He gets a piece of a high fastball and fouls it back to the screen to stay alive. Still 1-2. Salter on deck, Blomgren in the hole for Michigan. 1-2 pitch again. Kerr hits this one off the end of the bat towards the left side, and that one will get out of play near the Michigan bullpen. Count remains 1-2. Honestly, I've been impressed with these fans for not only staying, but being locked into the game pretty much and being entertained. As Kerr lines one towards right field line, will get in there for a base hit. Cutting it off is Yalowitz to hold Kerr to a single, but it is a leadoff single here in the 11th. Michigan looking to just score one run here and win this ball game.
Yes, now Harrison Salter is up. Salter only 0 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts, a fielder's choice, and a ground out. However, he is hit 283 on the season with that today. He only has 1 home run and 2 doubles and a triple.
Question is here, does head coach Eric Bakich go to the bunt? He does have Jack Blomgren, who's not exactly the stoutest hitter after Salter. But Salter's also not very quick, so a bunt would stay out of double play. Here he is. Salter is squaring around. He bunts one towards the right side. It's fielded by the catcher. He goes to second with, and it gets through into center field. Cran through to second on the sacrifice bunt. It bounced in front of the second baseman, or rather the shortstop, Troike. He couldn't field it on the short hop, and all the runners are safe at first and second now. Nobody out. Michigan with a golden opportunity now.
Now here's the question. Well, to me, it seems like a relatively simple one, but I'm not Eric Bakich, and I never got above coach pitch baseball, but do you bunt again? To me, with Blomgren on the dish, the answer is yes.
Generally, I'm very anti-bunt in general. Decreases your run expectancy. But Blomgren is, first of all, a fantastic bunter. He is able to get the ball down all season long and put it where he wants. And the difference between having that runner on second and a runner on third in scoring position is huge here with less than 2 outs, especially when you get back to the top of the order and all you got to do is either find a hole for Akeo Thomas or Dominic Clementi coming up after that. We'll see what Illinois had their meeting on the mound to discuss exactly how they wanted to play a potential bunt. Head coach Eric Bakich giving out his instructions near the bench.
And Jimmy Kerr not exactly slow on second base there. Certainly not a guaranteed out if Blomgren gets it down and Cran decides to fire over to third, but ultimately I think it'd probably be optimal. Ask Blomgren to bunt towards the right side of the mound.
See if he tries to put maybe on the third base line and try to make Van Scoy the one that comes in to field it. And if Van Scoy doesn't get there in time, you could have an infield single again and you just load the bases up.
And looks like Blomgren is going to square.
Blomgren is squaring all the way. Pitch on its way. Misses low for a ball. And the way that Illinois is playing this, the shortstop Troike is not only holding the runner Kerr on at second, he's also responsible for covering third while Van Scoy sprints in from third. Now Van Scoy giving out signals. And
wouldn't surprise me at all if Eric Bakich gave Jimmy Kerr the go-ahead to run.
If he can beat Troike to the bag, he'll get there. Troike sprinting over, bunt towards the third base side. It's fielded there by Van Scoy. He throws not in time to third base. Van Scoy livid. Absolutely livid. Takes off his hat. He is screaming at third base umpire Robert Lothian. And out comes Illinois' head coach Dan Hartlib to argue as well. Also absolutely livid. Van Scoy yelling as he walks towards the mound. Bases are loaded, though. Dan Hartlib may not last very long in this towards the end of this ball game. He gives Lothian his say and now starts walking back towards the dugout. Illinois with a meeting on the mound now to discuss what they're going to do here. Bases loaded, nobody out. We said Michigan had a golden opportunity before. Now they definitely have a golden opportunity here.
Let's, all right, replay's up. Let's take a look at this.
We'll see the replay. It looked to me from the naked eye like the throw beat him, and it looks like it's a bang-bang play. It could have gone either way.
I think, yeah, that's a...
Lothian was in great position to make the call.
That's just like the the home plate tag in the 9th inning that wasn't. That's a tie. And in both cases, the tie goes to the runner.
K.O. Thomas at the plate now. Bases loaded. Nobody out here in the 11th. A chance to walk off Michigan for the second time this season. First pitch from Schmidt is a strike to Thomas. Infield in for Illinois. Outfield in for Illinois as well. Minnesota fly ball. They're firing home to try to get Kerr. The 0-1 pitch to Thomas. Misses inside for a ball. He turns out of the way. Counts 1-1.
That's probably good defensive alignment there. The Illini outfielders playing shallow because Thomas, of course, as we've talked, not known for his power. He's yet to hit a home run on this season.
1-1 pitch. Called. Strike 2 on the outside corner. Thomas doesn't agree. I'd say the Michigan players are on the top step, but that's an understatement. They're all on the middle railing. There's 3 railings, or rather 2 railings. There's the ground, the middle railing on the top railing, and the screen for the Michigan dugout. They're all on that second railing. The 1-2 pitch to Thomas. Check swing does not go around on a low pitch. It's 2-2. Crowd at right pitcher not standing, still nervously sitting in their seats. Just about ready to explode here if Thomas can win this ball game for Michigan. Schmidt comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right side out of play. Thomas stays alive.
Thomas doesn't even really have to do a whole lot here. If he can just manage to, if he can even, the way they're aligned there, if he can just get a ball deep into the hole between second and third base, they're not going to be able to get Kerr at home plate.
A chopper would do wonders here, as long as it's not right at a fielder. He chops one down the third base line, just foul over the head of a ducking Kerr. Count remains 2-2. Thomas fouled one off to the right, then fouled one off to the left to stay alive. Schmidt peers in for the sign. Comes set with the glove at his belt. Takes a breath. The 2-2 pitch again. Line towards left field. It is caught in left field.
Nope.
Trying to tag. Nope. Now retreating back to third is Kerr.
Yeah, it's a smart decision there by Kerr not to go for home plate. I think at that point, Turchin was deep enough or was shallow enough and was ready with that arm. It was quick ball in there to Van Scoy at third base. If had Kerr gone, it would have been a second out.
I talked the last couple of days about a K.O. Thomas needing to hit line drives. Of course, he hits one right there, right at the left fielder Turchin. So almost hitting it too hard. He's finally ripping the ball. Just couldn't get the job done there, unfortunately.
If the outfield is aligned normally and Turchin is playing deeper, I think that's a base hit.
Middle infield moves back now with 1 out in the inning. Corners stay pretty close to being in. Outfield also in for Illinois. Dominic Clementi at the plate. He's 2 for 4, a couple singles and a walk on the day. He watches the first pitch right down the middle for strike 1.
In a similar position, all you need is a ground ball in the hole or a high chopper.
A deep fly ball will do the job as well. Just got to be deeper than the line drive K.O. Thomas just hit. 0-1 pitch, high fastball, misses 1-0.
A walk
1-1.
too would help.
A walk would also do the job. Clementi very patient. Already walked back just last inning in the 10th. Schmidt. It's 1-1 pitch on the way. Bounces in the dirt. Cran stops that one and saves the game. It's 2-1. Right-handed throwing Schmidt, left-handed hitting Clementi. Base is loaded, 1 away. This one's hit in the air towards the left side. That one's going to get a foul and out of play. Counts evens up at 2-2. A lot of nervous energy in the stadium right now. Half the stadium clapping along and getting excited. Half the stadium sitting on their hands, just not quite sure what to do at this point.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot you can do. And this is the ball game.
Another 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit high in the
Deep
air towards
fly
right
ball,
field,
deep
going
fly.
deep towards right field. Yalowitz is going to chase it down. It looks deep enough to get Kerr to score. He's tagging. The throw is going to come home. Not in time. Jimmy Kerr scores. Michigan wins on a walk-off sacrifice fly from Dominic Clementi, and they end their home slate on a high note. 5-4. Michigan beats the Illinois Fighting Illini.
And as you see right there, they're crowding over at first base, celebrating. All the coaches are shaking hands. Absolutely fantastic ending to this home slate here at Ray Fisher Stadium. Of course, the senior, how perfect, the senior, Jace Vancina, comes away with the win. And this is the last home game to the 5 seniors, the true seniors, Alec Renard, Jace Vancina, Brock Keener, and Austin Baca, and the red shirt senior, Hector Gutierrez. And similarly, the final game here of the WCBN broadcasting career of one Mr. Austin Falco.
It is my final game. I did say I'd like to call a walk-off for the final game, so they definitely delivered there. As you mentioned, Jace Vancina, the senior, gets the win here on senior day, moves to 3-3 on the season. Ryan Schmidt takes the loss for Illinois, moves to 1-2. Final line score: Illinois 4 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors on the game, all costly. Michigan 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They played themselves a clean game and came away with the victory. That will do it here from Ray Fisher Stadium. For myself and Nick Hornberg, a thriller as Michigan goes into their final series of the year against Purdue next weekend. We will not have the call for you, so we wish you adieu and wish Michigan baseball good luck moving forward in their NCAA and Big Ten tournament hopes. Again, Austin Falco, Nick Hornberg, all of us here at WCBN Sports, thank you for your listenership all season long and all year long for all the sports we covered. We leave you, as we always do, from Ray Fisher Stadium with a good night and a Go Blue.